That's right. What's that, Chuck? What's the attitude? You want a fresh one, kid? You see, citizens, it doesn't matter what Norm says. It only matters what I do. You're a war hero, standing tall and proud, still with the heavyweight title around his waist. Zip it, kid, I get paid. You pay, I get paid. That's how it works. So tonight we're starting this qualifying tournament for my title, which I've renamed the Gregory Invitational, because I've selected every member in the entire tournament. Because when I'm done and I win this thing, when I'm presented right out of fingers, kids, 6th time I've won this thing twice, and there'll be no question who's the best. And in this tournament, the Gregory Invitational. You don't need Daizee Haze to tell you I'm the #1 seed. Speaking of tonight, I got one more mission to accomplish until I launch my offensive on my 6th title ring. I got a mixed tag, Delirious and Daizee Haze. I picked as my partner, Bader, but Norm didn't allow that. So I got Sara Del Rey, which of course I can make much more use out of a piece of Del ass, but I'll take what I can get here. But I hear she's big enough and she's broad enough to finally eliminate this little problem I got. So get used to just another great night in the life of Dennis Gregory, your heavyweight champion. Long live the champ. Back to you in the ring, Chuck. It's showtime.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we officially welcome you to IWC's Boiling Point 3. Controversial start from our would-be champion, Dennis Gregory at ringside. It is Joe Dabrowski, joined by special guest, Snapshot CJ Sensation.
That's right, Joe.
And we're about to get set with title tournament qualifying matchup. Dennis Gregory calling it the Gregory Invitational. However, after some very, very inappropriate action several weeks ago in Newville, Gregory stripped of the heavyweight crown. As a result, throughout the entire month of September and October, we're going to crown a brand new heavyweight champion. Gregory already advanced into the tournament by being the prior champion.
How do you find that inappropriate, Joe?
Boiling Point 3 is a one-fall match, and it is a championship title qualifying tournament. Introducing to you first, being escorted by Gambino. She represents, hailing from 3B Crossing, North Dakota, weighing in at 226 pounds, one half of the Hollywood Bulls, Bald Evil Vendetta.
Well, we're looking at Vendetta in the ring right now, and I believe you were about to question my context of Gregory's actions. Are you justifying what he's done?
Yeah, I don't see anything inappropriate about it, Joe.
He attacked Chuck Roberts, he attacked the referee, he attacked our boss, Norm Connors.
What's wrong with that?
As a result, we're stripped of the championship. I don't see you hanging around Dennis Gregory anymore. The War Machine has imploded.
I got my own things on my mind.
269 pounds, and he's one half of the IWC Tag Team Champions. He is
Eric Ecstasy, the bisexual bulldozer, a former IWC heavyweight champion in his own right, set to attempt to qualify for this, I believe, 16-man elimination tournament over the next 4 shows. It all starts here, and Bald Evil Vendetta, Eric Ecstasy, 2 very formidable athletes, and you know them both very well. How do you assess this contest?
This is going to be a straight-up, well, I don't want to say technical contest because obviously Eric Ecstasy's involved, and that kid can never be serious.
Okay. Now, I recognize this guy. He's Vendetta. But you usually have somebody, Jimmy, you grew hair, you grew boobs, but you're a lot worse looking now. I don't know what happened to you.
First thing he noticed was the hair?
Yeah, probably not the first thing I would notice.
Well, Eric Ecstasy's observations about Vicky Gambino aside, we are set for a very important matchup. We're going to determine the number 2 seed for this tournament later tonight with Ray, Rowe, John McChesney, and Ricky Reyes. 3 men who really want a piece of the number 1 seed, Dennis Gregory. But what about Dennis Gregory not even relinquishing the belt? He is not the current champion. He is not recognized as the title holder, yet he still wears that gold.
He was never beaten for the title. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joe.
I'd have to say he beat himself with his conduct. You don't attack your boss. You don't attack non-wrestlers like Chuck Roberts and the referee Stephen Coulter. He got away with attacking Chuck Roberts once before, but you got to draw the line somewhere.
You want to test his strength? Keep it on the way tougher. Come on.
Eric Ecstacy, former multiple-time tag team champion, along with Justin Idol, captured that belt just a few months ago over Babyface Fire. Really vindicated so many months of struggle and work to achieve the sexual harassment dynasty of regaining the same glory it had in its golden years at the beginning part of the decade.
I'll tell you right now, Joe, my money's on Vendetta. Eric Ecstasy's been out of singles competition for quite some time, so he's out of his element right here in a singles match.
Well, that's a very good point. This may be Eric's first singles matchup in IWC in some 4-some-odd years.
It has been quite some time.
Eric with a shoulder tackle takes down Vendetta, and Vendetta's been making some waves in recent months about wanting this kind of an opportunity. I don't think Vendetta is truly happy being the punchline of the joke along with Jimmy Demarco these past several months. He wants to be taken seriously, and he wants his talent to shine through and not be in the shadow of Jimmy Demarco's perversion.
Can you blame him?
Not at all. I wouldn't want to hang around Jimmy Demarco either, but that's a story for another time.
Absolutely.
And Vendetta sent in the ring the hard way. Of course, we invite all of you fans to check out IWCWrestling.com the coming weeks and months to view the brackets of this championship tournament as it progresses. Nice overhead suplex by Eric Ecstacy.
Eric's looking really good here in the beginning stages of this match, but I guarantee you that Vendetta's going to step it up.
Well, it's a more serious Eric Ecstacy. Of course, he's still having fun out there.
Look at him. Are you kidding me, Joe?
Well, Vendetta's outside the ring. Eric has learned to balance out the comedy with the seriousness. It brought him the tag team title. Certainly Justin Idol has been in his ear for many, many months about that. And, save for the machinations and a little bit of YMCA action, we've seen that, but he took a little too much time, and Vendetta capitalized.
Like I said, Vendetta's going to be on top the rest of the way through.
Vendetta, one of the most dangerous members of the Gambino family. We've seen him assault people with billy clubs. We've seen him suspended in the past, and he really doesn't give a damn. He's all about spreading his own personal message. He's all about his own personal gain.
Jake the Snake is just lucky that Vendetta didn't end his career for good.
Well, certainly Vendetta has survived a lot of tough opposition, including the legendary Jake the Snake Roberts. Reverse chinlock by Vendetta now. Half a camel clutch. Follow through. Elbow right between the shoulder blades.
That's got to be it right here, Joe.
Lateral press for 2. And Mr. Sensation, certainly the goal of any athlete in IWC is to capture the heavyweight championship.
Absolutely.
Have you made any waves about entering this tournament? Are you going to get a qualifying match at any point?
Does it look like it, Joe? I'm sitting here with you.
Well, that's very true. However, I'm sure North Connors is searching the world over for the best talent to put into this. We got 16 slots here.
One of those 16 better be mine, I'll tell you that much, Joe.
You haven't done a lot to endear yourself to management these past couple of years. I seem to remember you stabbing Norm in the back after he tried to keep you out of the ring for your own protection.
My own protection? I'm absolutely fine, Joe.
You do have a bad neck, last I heard.
I could move.
Well,
there's no reason why I couldn't take that heavyweight title.
Well, you certainly could give anybody in there a run for their money. We saw you school Logan Shulo in recent months, give him a very physical lesson.
Yeah, I was robbed whenever he beat me, I'll tell you that much.
As Vendetta hoping to rob Eric Ecstacy of a heavyweight championship tournament berth here.
Oh, it's gonna happen. Look at the kid. He's humongous and he's bald. He's got 2 things going for him.
Eric Ecstasy's bald.
Good point, Joe. Good point.
Oh, Vendetta's back gave out on him there. Couldn't position the weight of Eric Ecstacy properly. And you got a couple of big guys there. Not many guys can really outpower Eric Ecstacy outside him. Vendetta has a chance, but not when he's met with a spear like that one. Eric trying to get back into the game here. Vicky Gambino on the outside, trying to cheer on Vendetta. Keep in mind the family have 4 representatives in this tournament, in this qualifying round. They have better odds to win the belt than anybody here.
Yeah, you got that absolutely right, all 4 members.
And we're going to have Mickey Gambino against Jimmy DeMarco a little bit later tonight as Eric Ecstasy starts to come back with the jabs, some flip-flop and fly with the point of the elbow to the head. And Eric
with the big clothesline here. Takes Vendetta down. Vendetta's got to do something here to get back on top.
Eric, head of steam, look out, with a splash in the corner.
Oh, of course he's going to try to get these idiotic fans behind him.
Count along with Eric Ecstasy.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I'm surprised these moves would count that high.
You be nice.
I am being nice.
Watch Vendetta here. May have been going for a variation of that Uranagi, that rock bottom. Eric elbowed his way free. Vendetta meets Eric with a spine buster.
That's got to be it right there, Joe. He should be going for the pin right here.
And that's the power Vendetta displays. Oh, wait a second.
Is this the people's elbow?
Shades back to Jesse Titan Mark of several years gone by.
Yeah!
Is he going to deliver it? No, the double bird, and he got goozled.
That's a chokehold. Culture should be administering a count here.
And a choke slam. Was it all the way to hell? Was it out of the tournament? No, Vendetta got out, 2.5. As this matchup just took a drastically different tone in these past couple minutes.
It's nonsense.
Is Eric going to finish this? Maybe going from the sexually transmitted driver. Vendetta counters.
This has got to be it right here. Is he going for a power bomb?
Eric's about 250 pounds, if not more, and he got drilled with a power bomb. Is that going to be all? 2 and 2 shots.
Did I not tell you?
You called it.
I'm surprised he picked that tubby Eric Ecstasy
Here
up.
is your winner and advancing to the championship tournament, Vendetta!
Vendetta advances to the title tournament over a former heavyweight champion. That's a big-time win.
Gotta say something right there, Joe. One of 4 members of the family already grabbed their berth to the tournament.
And we could see 2 others before this night is over. Vendetta, the first man to qualify after months of claiming he needs to be taken seriously and he needs to be put in the ring with men like a Dennis Gregory. Vendetta could prove himself right here. Ball Evil is in the title tournament.
And you can see how seriously he took it and how unseriously Eric Ecstasy took it because he's laying on his back staring at the lights.
Qualifier set for 1 fall in a 20-minute time limit. First, being escorted to the ring by his manager, the lovely Vicky Gambino. She presents, weighing in at 262 pounds, one half of the Gambino brothers, Marshall Gambino.
Well, Marshall referenced it in his pre-match comments. He's never had a singles match in IWC before. He's used to gang warfare. He's used to hits. He's used to strength in numbers. So how is this change of scenery going to affect Marshall in one of his most important matches to date?
It may seem like an uphill battle for Marshall, but look at the guy's size. He's probably going to throw Shiima Xion around like a rag doll. And they're no strangers to each other with all the tag team contests between the Gambinos and Babyface Fire.
That's right, he's done it before, but Shiima Xion with decisively more singles experience. Trip to Japan, to Mexico, to Canada, to all over the United States. Shiima Xion with a chance to begin his biggest singles road yet.
Here's your opponent, hails from the Philippines, weighs in at 195 pounds, he is Shiima Xion.
We've seen Shiima Xion perform very admirably in singles action in the past, most notably Super Indies 4, 6, and 7. Shiima Xion has show-stealing performances every single year, but this is a tournament twice as big as Super Indy and with twice the prestige.
All men in this tournament have got to be showing some butterflies.
And it looks like Shiima Xion has something to say to the man that at one point almost ended his career.
Marshall, excuse me. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've been very nervous about this match. Come on, let's be honest, it's twice my size here. But if you can direct your attention to the video screen, I, Shiima Xion, put together a tribute to Marshall Gambino, the baby bull. I would like to play that right now for all of you. It's a tribute to like your best moments at IWC. I worked really hard on it. Play it, please. Yummy!
Gambino just saw pretty much the most humiliating moments of his entire life in one easy-to-view package. And I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but as Shiima Xion and all of us were watching along, Marshall did not take his eyes off of Shiima Xion for 1 second.
You can be certain that after that utter display of disrespect, that Marshall Gambino is not going to take this lightly.
Well, Shiima Xion trying to use psychological tactics here to get in the head of Marshall Gambino. And after watching Marshall Gambino do all that Marshall Gambino did, for a split second at least, it was working.
Yeah, but the tides have turned, Joe.
Well, yeah, the one problem with that is that we have a 280-pound baby bull that's even more pissed off than usual.
I wouldn't want to be in that ring across from Marshall Gambino, that's for sure.
Absolutely not. And we're talking about a guy like Marshall, who attempted to end Shiima's career with a champagne bottle in the eye.
Damn near did it, too.
We're talking about a guy that put Shiima Xion into a pile of thumbtacks about 10 or 12 times in a row. And we're talking about a guy that went through hell and back with Shiima inside a 15-foot high steel cage. And that was all just to be the tag team champions. That was all just business as usual. Now Marshall is ticked off.
And the game has stepped up. This is for the heavyweight title here, Joe, just like you said. It's a lot bigger of a prize.
Only one man can qualify, and Vicky Gambino looks like it's going to make sure it's Marshall the Bull.
Any means necessary, Joe. Any means necessary.
And even though it is a singles matchup, the family's still utilizing gang warfare here with Vicky on the outside.
You would do the same thing. Don't tell me differently.
I don't see Shiima with Jason Gory out here. And check this out, satellite head scissors sends Marshall straight into the steel guardrail. Xion's got to hit and run. He's got to hit these high-impact aerial maneuvers if he has any hope of survival. This is not an Azrael, a Larry Sweeney, a Jason Gory, or somebody. Look out! Shiima got elevated. This is not a man you'd find in the Super Indy tournament. This is almost 300 pounds of power.
Shiima must have thought he was Michael Jordan going for a slam dunk there with how high he was, Joe.
Shiima elevated some 10 feet into the air, and Marshall Gambino, if he can keep this tempo slow, he may have this matchup won.
He needs to ground Shiima Xion. That's going to benefit Marshall Gambino.
No doubt about that. Keep in mind, Shiima Xion and Jason Gory defeated the Gambinos in that cage to win the tag titles. Marshall Gambino never really got, in his mind, a full measure of revenge. Could be time to do exactly that. Shiima went for another head scissors. Marshall just blocked it.
Look at the pure power.
Power bomb. Sits out
That's it
with
right there, Joe.
This could be all to a no.
That's a slow count by the referee.
About 5 minutes.
And Shiima Xion, the fun and games are certainly over here for the future of fashion. And Marshall Gambino.
That hurt me, Joe.
Overhand knife edge chop. And this is the match Marshall Gambino won. A slow, methodical pace, and now with a chin lock. Notice Marshall over top of Shiima, making Shiima carry all of Marshall Gambino's weight.
It's a big leg drop right there.
That's a tree trunk of a leg. And right back to the chin lock, with the knee perfectly positioned right between the shoulder blades. Referee Bobby Williams in perfect position to detect a submission here. Easier said than done with Shiima Xion.
That's it. Slap him around, Marshall.
What did Shiima Xion ever do to you? Marshall trying to keep Shiima grounded, as you said earlier. Marshall catches the foot, but Shiima knows what's on the line here. Shiima, in his entire career here, 4 years, has only had one opportunity at the heavyweight title that I can recall.
Shiima slaps like a girl.
Well, it was enough to take care of Marshall Gambino in that instance.
Nah, I think it may have been the super kick, Joe.
Well, Shiima Xion trying to will himself back to his feet here, needs to quicken the tempo. Cannot fall to Gambino family business practices, as Vicky Gambino trying to get Marshall back to his feet as well. The longer this matchup goes, however, the more it's going to favor Shiima, carrying almost 100 pounds less body weight. Shiima drop kick stagger Marshall. Can't take the big man off his feet. Another knife edge by the Bull. But Shiima up and over on the opposite side. Shiima again trying to quicken the pace. Marshall waiting for him, but tremendous agility into the DDT. Shiima Xion has to crawl over to the cover. Did he take too much time? And that momentary few seconds to get over to the cover may have saved Marshall Gambino.
I'll give credit where credit's due, Joe. That was a fancy maneuver by Shiima Xion. But it couldn't keep the big man down.
Shiima maybe signaling 6:30 here. High risk if there ever was one, but Marshall is waiting for Shiima.
Is Marshall going to the top?
And this is somewhere that Marshall is not at home at compared to Shiima Xion. And you can clearly see that right there. Shiima, second turnbuckle on the inside. Up and over. But Marshall caught him. Release suplex head first. And Marshall using that
spear,
that limitless power of his, that 280 plus of muscle.
That's got to be it right there.
That could be all. Shiima not moving, no.
You got to be kidding me.
Right shoulder up at the last second, and Marshall Gambino getting a bit frustrated.
Something seems fishy here about this Williams kid.
Are you one to criticize somebody's refereeing tactics?
Absolutely I am.
Please. Marshall Gambino gonna charge in, but Shiima Xion waiting for him. Super kick right to the chin. Marshall still trying to charge in, but Shiima waiting for him every time and drives Marshall down face first with a crystal pistol. Could be a setup for Bible Black. The knee perfectly placed. Shiima Xion got 2.5.
I can't believe that Shiima Xion was even still standing, Joe.
He's withstood a lot of punishment, but he's battled back. That's the true mark of a champion. But can he put away perhaps his biggest threat to his career? The man that terrorized him for 6+ months last year.
Come on, Marshall, get up.
Shiima's going high risk. It could be all or nothing. Look out! 630 splash! Use this weight to his advantage. Cover!
You gotta be kidding me.
Shiima's moving on.
Your winner and advancing to the championship tournament, Shiima Xion.
Shiima Xion has the victory in the qualifying round. He has made his way into the list of 16, and the future of fashion may just be the future of this company. Shiima Xion with a chance to reach the pinnacle of IWC, the ultimate prize, the heavyweight championship. Marshall Gambino forced to regroup, forced to attempt to live down that embarrassing video. All I gotta say is I'm very happy Jay Worthington Farnsworth was not here to see that, but I'm very happy to see Shiima Xion advance to the field of 16, the IWC title tournament.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, here on to a little bit of business. As I told you, we got a lot of things going on, and of course, as you have seen on the website, a lot of changes. That said, earlier this week, I had received a note, an email in fact, from promoter Norm Connors with certain instructions. And the instruction that I have is, following our second match, I am to, which I'm doing right now, is read this exactly how he wants me to do it. I am to invite the entire IWC locker room to ringside. So gentlemen, in the back, I don't know any more than this, but please, gentlemen, I need everyone in the back, in the locker room, to please come on out and hang around ringside. DJ, let's give them something.
Well, this is unexpected. DJ, I don't know.
What is this, Joe?
I don't know. I would do what the boss said. Norm Connors instructing Chuck Roberts to invite the entire IWC locker room out here right now. And I gotta be honest, folks, this is not on my format sheet. I was not informed of this. I'm not sure what this is about. You see a whole host of IWC stars up and down the entire roster. Wrestlers, referees, personalities, all making their way out here. And I don't know if anybody in this parade of former and future champions understands exactly what this is about. And I know Jimmy Demarco doesn't understand much. Flexer, Ferrari, Flunkies, everybody surrounding the ring. Question is why?
Okay. Should be everybody. Okay. I got the music.
I don't see Dennis Gregory out there. Is he above the wall?
Gentlemen, ladies, all I know is I'm supposed to do this. This is all I know.
And, well, Chuck doesn't even know what's next. We got a whole locker room out here, and we don't know why. And I wish I had some light to shed on this, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm just as in the dark as everybody around ringside and everybody in this crowd. Something is brewing here in IWC, but exactly what, I don't know. And Bubba the Bulldog is out here. We've seen him sporadically over the past several months. Saw him wrestle Shark Boy and Ellsworth. We saw him pay respect to the franchise Shane Douglas. Several months ago at our Call to Arms Spectacular, and now he's going to address the locker room?
On July 22nd of 2008, I was informed by my doctors that I had to have surgery on my throat. They had found masses on my vocal cords and in my throat. On July 24th of 2008, Dr. Paulus at the Metropolitan Ears and Nose and Throat Clinic performed a surgery. It was at that time that I felt like my entire career in the radio industry and my entire career in the world of professional wrestling had come to an end. There's not one person out here today that is getting rich by busting their ass in this ring for you. They're here because they love this sport, they love professional wrestling. And whether any of you love me or hate me, like to put up signs, I can promise you that every single time I walked into this ring, I gave you 100%, whether it was on the microphone or in the ring. I know people said, Bubba's can't work anymore, he can't wrestle, he can't do this, he can't do that. And for that, if you truly felt that way, I'm sorry. But I always gave you 100%. I remember back my first dark match ever for Vince McMahon. I came to the curtain and I was scared to death. I was scared when I walked out, I was scared when I walked back, I was scared when I got dressed, and I'll never forget. Bret Hart pulled me aside and sat me down, said, "Hey kid, are you that kid that had that dark match earlier?" And I said yes, and I didn't know if he was going to tear me up and down. He said, "You know something? If you want to, you can have a future in this business because you're good." I got to tell you, obviously, I didn't take advantage of it, and I regret that. I remember June of, I think it was 1998, 10 years ago, I wrestled in the three-way dance with the great Samu and the franchise Shane Douglas. And when I went over for the first championship belt in the history of my career, every fan hated it and said it was the worst thing ever. And when I went to the locker room, Shane Douglas said to me, "Son, if you want to do something with this career, you've got it. But you've got to make something of it." I don't think I did. And I got to tell you, I regret that. Since 1996, I have done everything I could toward professional wrestling. I feel like I still have not done enough. But here I am, 2 months removed from surgery, and I don't have much of a choice. Which brings me to this. Regrets are not something that you want to live with. Regrets are not something that in your heart and in your soul feel very good. Those of you that have lived the life, you know that there's things you wish you would have done, there's things you wish you should have done, and you maybe didn't do it. So in your heart, when you go to bed at night, you regret it. But there's sometimes you can't change that. And that's why I'm here tonight. I'm here to announce that there's not a chance in hell that I'm retiring from the world of professional wrestling. I am not going to regret anything I've ever done. I will not retire, and I can promise you I'm not ready to wrestle, but I am going to get in the best shape of my life because each and every one of you deserve it, whether you love me or whether you hate me. The next time you see me in this ring, I promise you I'll be capable of giving you 110%. And when after I had my surgery, I got a phone call from the doctor and said, I've got good news for you. I said, I didn't know I had bad news. He said, you don't have cancer. You're good to go. He said, but don't do anything stupid. I looked at my wife and I looked at my 4 children. I said, I won't anymore. I picked up the phone and I said, Norm, you and I have been on opposite sides of the fences for way too long. I know that you live across the state and don't have much time before. Because those of you remember, I'm the one that started the IWC.
That's true.
In a little show in McKees Rocks in the Emerald Room, giving these guys a place to work. And you know what happened? I broke my hand. I ran out of time. Norm took the ball and he created the IWC that you know and love today. And I said, Norm, thank you. But you know something? Norm doesn't have the time. So each and every one of you may wonder why you're here today. I made Norm a deal. While he can't be here, and while I train to get back in shape, I'm in charge now.
Wow.
But you know something? As much as I'm in charge, I'm really not. Every person that buys a ticket to IWC Wrestling is now in charge with me. It is up to each and every one of you to bust your ass and make their money worth it. And that is what I'm going to do when I'm in charge in IWC. And until Norm can come back and I can get in shape, all of you are on notice. These people are your boss, and each and one of you better bust your ass and make them pay their money that they paid and make me earn it. So let's start here. Our first order of business. CJ Sensation, get your ass in the ring.
There's a good place to start.
While I've been gone, I've been hearing some things that disturbing. I understand that you claim to have a girlfriend, and I know that every fan out there knows that's not a chance in hell. I mean, really, there's no chance in hell. You know that. So, who is your girlfriend?
Miley Cyrus.
And how old is she?
She's old enough.
Where's Chris Hansen?
Yeah, that's great. That's great, pervert. You know something? You're just a little bit sick, and you're fired.
What?
Do I look like I'm kidding you? I said, oh, I forgot you're stupid. F-I-R-E-D, fired!
CJ Sensation has been fired?
Hey, wait a second. You see that curtain right there? In that back room back there? That's for International Wrestling Cartel employees. I said you're fired. Chuck, get his bag. You know something? You don't work here anymore. What do you think? You're going to go back through the curtain? You're going to go through the door that every single non-employee goes through. So Chuck, give me his bag. I don't know what he needs it for. It's probably full of tampons. Take your bag and get out. Listen to me. I'm the father of 3 children. I may not be ready to wrestle, but I know I'm ready to kick your ass if you don't get out of this ring.
CJ Sensation has been unceremoniously fired. I don't think anybody's too upset over it. See you later, pal. He's out of here. Can't represent the company by claiming to date underage women.
Now, Jerry Lynn, if you could please come into the ring. Johnny Gargano, if you could please come to the ring. Big round of applause.
Teacher and mentor.
Do you fans realize that Jerry Lynn is a legend in the world of professional wrestling?
Along with his student, Johnny Gargano, Lynn the mentor.
You guys have wrestled twice so far in IWC, and every one of you have to admit, they have put on a great matches for you guys. Give them a round of applause. They're working their butts off for you. And I'm sure tonight the two of you would put on a great match. Sometimes great isn't good enough. Great match tonight, but not good enough. Super Hentai, please come into the ring. The longest Super Indie Champion of all time, held it for a year, and also the first Super Indie Champion of all time. What do you say that tonight we take a great match and make it even better with a three-way dance? It's not up to me, it's up to each and every one of you. Can you say three-way dance?
Looks like we got a hell of a match.
Tonight, Johnny Gargano versus Super Hentai for the Super Indie Championship against Jerry Lynn. How do you like that for a match?
We love it. Bubba's 2 for 2.
Gentlemen, I just want you all to know that the IWC was great, but I promise you, as long as I'm in charge, it will only get better. You are now dismissed.
Bubba the Bulldog taking charge, making some great decisions. Interesting to see the various reactions of all the athletes around the ring. Some seem happy, some not so much, but there's new law in IWC, and his name is Bubba the Bulldog, the same guy that started it all back in 2001.
Championship tournament. Introducing first making his way around the ring. He hails from Hell's Canyon, Idaho. Weighs in at 190 pounds. Gory.
Our next championship qualifying match about to get underway at ringside. Joe Dabrowski joined by a former champion in his own right, the sexual icon and bisexual bulldozer, Mr. Eric Exton.
That's right. Former heavyweight champ, but current tag team champ, Joe. Don't forget.
No doubt about it.
And here's my boy. Excuse me while I mark out, Joe.
He's opponent. Weighs in at 200 pounds. And it's one half of the IWC Tag Team Champions. He's
Justin Idol and Jason Gory know each other very, very well from the wars between sexual harassment and babyface fire. But never before in IWC have they met one-on-one in singles competition. Have you told Justin anything to help prepare him for his life and singles competition here in IWC?
Well, you know, Joe, a lot of people, a lot of IWC fans don't realize this. Before sexual harassment became a team, these two guys were tearing up every promotion up and down the East Coast. I was there. And I'm telling you right now, match of the year candidates all the way around. So Justin knows the drill. Justin's going to be just fine as long as Gory isn't one step ahead.
Well, we've already seen, of course, Dennis Gregory has the #1 seed in this championship tournament. We've seen Vendetta qualify, and we've seen Shiima Zion qualify, and certainly your hopes and aspirations didn't exactly go exactly as planned.
No, I mean, you know, Vendetta took me out with the powerbomb, which I never thought he could hit, being that I'm bigger than him. But I guess I was wrong, and you know what? Life goes on. I got to defend the tag titles. But right now, I'm here for Justin. Sexual harassment still has a shot at the heavyweight crown right now with Justin Idol.
Absolutely right. And these men went to hell and back, and certainly you were there as well. TLC tables, ladders, and chairs. Just a couple of months ago, we saw these men on the rampway through tables all over this building. Obviously, they have to know each other very, very well based on these encounters. It should be a very evenly matched contest. As you mentioned, these men have met many times before, but never on a stage as grand as IWC.
That's right, never on a scale like IWC. And actually, if you think about it, that's probably going to make it that much better, Joe.
Jason Gory hoping to join his babyface Fire tag partner in the field of 16. Idol cinching in a deep, deep side headlock as referee Stephen Coulter quick on the case.
Idol likes them deep, Joe. He loves them deep.
Excuse me?
He loves them deep. There's no other way to put a headlock on, Joe.
Shoulder tackle. Idol between the legs. And Gory with the scissors up and over into the arm drag. Nicely done.
Amazing.
Two of the quickest men in the entire IWC. Gory may be a hair quicker, but that's certainly up for debate.
Wow. You know, despite all the weight I've lost, I think I got out of breath just watching it.
And I got to get your thoughts, got to touch on it momentarily. The big announcement we've just heard from Bubba the Bulldog. He's in charge now. How do you feel about that?
You know what? I'm kind of excited. Bubba's one of those guys, I mean, look at all he's done. He's been on radio stations. He's wrestled dark matches for WWE. He has his own bar. I mean, he's the kind of guy that succeeds. And that's the kind of guy that IWC needs to take it to the next level. I'm excited.
He's the guy that started this company, absolutely.
That's right. I was there from the first show, and I'm here now. I'm excited.
Gory lands high on the drop kick, right on the facial features of Justin Idol. Watch out, Gory. Able to put on the brakes as Idol. Quick to sidestep the veteran instincts of Idol, but Gory caught him on the other side.
I thought Idol had it scouted, but oh my God!
High risk up with a helo. Spreads out his body weight for maximum impact, and when Gory can fly, he's in his element.
That's okay. I mean, coming off that TLC match, I think what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, Joe. I think Justin's going to rebound.
And certainly, Justin Idol has provided so much to the sexual harassment tag team. Focus, determination, a serious edge. May or may not have had a factor into the result of your match earlier tonight. Well, that's up for debate. But certainly, Idol always has his head in the game and is always focused on the Ultimate Prize Championship goal.
Yep, Idol was the missing ingredient that we needed. He brings that seriousness. I think it's the best sexual harassment version yet. And I know he'll bring that seriousness to this tournament. It means that much.
Gory springs up with a drop kick right around the neck of Idol, around the sternum, to and no. Near fall situation. Jason Gory, a former Super Indie champion, but that was only for a couple of hours. That's not going to do much to prepare you for this field of 16, a 4-show long tournament. And a great backbreaker by Idol now.
Right.
Quickly into the press for 2-0.
You know, I tell you, Joe, when you wrestle tag teams for the past 2 years, you're a little rusty when you get in there without the help of your partner on the other side. I felt it tonight. And one of these men are going to feel it here tonight. Let's see who gets luckier. Let's see who is more prepared.
Absolutely. Don't you always slip into that comfort zone? You know if you get in trouble, you got somebody to tag out to, somebody to bail you out, nobody in there for a singles match.
Yeah, absolutely. Earlier, I kept reaching for that tag, and I just couldn't. There was nobody there. And, you know, I wish I would have thought better of it, but what's done is done. Right now, we're going to worry about Justin bringing a third title into the mix here.
Body scissors momentarily, trying to restrict the breathing of Jason Gory. It's going to take a lot for either of these men to run out of gas. Gory counters the side slam. Idol pressing the situation, and check out the agility of one half of the former multiple-time tag champions. But the current champion rebounds. Gory hangs onto the ropes, however. Back and forth offense, almost too quick to call, but Gory with the lung blower. And if there's anybody that matches up to Gory evenly, it's Justin Idol and vice versa. Tremendous back and forth contest. It's been a game of can you top this?
These two are the perfect blend for a singles match.
Crossbody 2-0. Near fall situation.
One thing I know from Justin, not only being my tag partner, but my best friend, is he thrives on competition. This is what he lived for. He wanted to be in a tournament ever since he's got here, whether it be Super Indie or anything, and he's got his chance tonight. Oh!
Whammy kablammy, right to the face of the knee. Cover. Could be on. No.
The whammy kablammy. That is tremendous.
That's Justin Idol for you.
Yes. You see, I rubbed off on him a little bit for that one.
I beg your pardon.
Well, I didn't really rub him.
5 minutes.
Again, I'm thankful Jay Worthington Farnsworth is not here to partake in this evening. As Idol back with the scissors.
I think that guy's a fan of sexual harassment.
I think he's a closet fan. I don't think he'll admit it.
I'll get him out of the closet one of these days.
I don't doubt that for some reason. Last time the IWC title was contested in a tournament all the way back to July of 2002. Classic Cabana won that championship on that night. And now the stakes up even further. 4-night long tournament throughout September and October.
And you know where Colt Cabana is now. I see the same thing for the winner of this one.
That's for the clothesline. Second time. And both men, same idea. idea, double cross body, and both men drove the wind out of each other's bodies.
You said it earlier, how well they know each other. I think we just found out.
And you can't even determine who this situation favors here. Gory is carrying slightly less body weight, but Idol doesn't have to take a backseat to anybody as far as stamina and conditioning.
Yeah, I mean, they're about even, Joe. This is probably the most even match in the tournament.
Or the Dennis Gregory Invitational, if you listen to the former 5-time champion.
As he calls it. And that, if they stripped him of the belt, why was he wearing it, Joe? Tell me that. I mean, weren't you in charge of taking him from him?
Hard.
Delivering it to NCON headquarters?
NCON?
NCON. You know about NCON. Didn't you sign your contract there?
We have contracts? Series of forearms.
Oh my God.
Back and forth. We can sense the physicality.
Oh.
And surely if Dennis Gregory is going to assault management, assault referees, ring announcers, I don't think there's anybody here not intimidated enough to get that belt from him.
Gee, I thought Gory was our friend. Oh my God.
It all goes out the window when it comes to competition. We've seen you guys put your lives on the line against each other for championship gold over these past several months.
I'll take nothing away from Gory. Other than sexual harassment, Babyface Fire is no doubt the top team in independent wrestling right now.
Gory got the knee to the head of Justin Idol, countering the suplex attempt. Look out. In the corner, and Idol connects with a gut check.
Hasn't pulled that one out in a while.
And again, taking all the wind out of Gory, and just stomped right in the back of the head, the external occipital protuberance, 2 and no. And Justin Idol, again, trying to take all the wind out of Gory's body, trying to expend that energy very early. He knows the resilience firsthand that Gory possesses.
You take a page from Gorilla Monsoon's book there, Dombrowski.
Absolutely. And Justin Idol going to get ahead of steam as Gory out on his feet.
You can tell the fatigue on both men is setting in.
The discus clothesline was countered into the enziguri. And both guys have gone full speed so long, they're beginning to feel the effects.
Oh!
And a QAS. And again, the back of the head.
Right. That has to be it. I don't want it to be it, but that has to be it.
This time it was the back of Idol's head.
Come on, Justin.
Hit the buckle. Look at the leg for 2.5 again.
Oh my God. I mean, first the ramp, now the buckle. I don't know how Justin gets himself in these situations, Joe.
Well, that's the art of competition right there. And Gory, much like his partner earlier, is about to go high risk. It paid off for Shiima Xion. But Gory will not be so lucky on this instance.
Justin very quick to recover there.
Idol, second turnbuckle on the inside as Gory, superplex attempt. But Gory can sense danger. He's fighting for his life here, fighting for his tournament dream.
He's got to move. He's got to get out of the way.
Hits the swanton. Perfectly placed. Idol. The wind rushed out. Gory get near fall.
10 minutes has elapsed in this match. 10 minutes.
A QAS, a swanton, he's still kicking out. That's my boy. That's my boy.
As great as these athletes are, you got to be at least a little bit surprised of how perseverant they are in just this qualifying round.
I'd probably be dead by now, Joe. I won't lie.
And we're not even officially in the tournament yet. We're qualifying, guys.
Imagine what either of these two guys are going to do in that tournament. Denny Gregory shouldn't be so comfortable.
Not at all. Even though he's not the champion anymore, he's still got the proverbial bullseye on his chest. Idol got the knee up. Beautiful. Snap, side rushing, leg sweep.
There we go. Brain buster, that should be all.
Deep hook of the leg. Idol moving on. No. Another near fall.
Wow.
And this is a perfect testament to what this means to both these men.
Not only these men, but IWC. I mean, this is the kind of action that these fans pay for.
Idol measuring Gory. This could be a mistake, letting Gory get back to his feet. But Idol seems to have some sort of plan.
Joe, you know what happens when Idol gets in that position. We could see the Spirit Crusher.
He's just called for it, Spirit Crusher. I believe we saw that through a tape a couple months ago. But Gory countered.
Gory had it scouted.
But what does he have left? Both these men, noticeably breathing heavily.
Oh, yeah.
Noticeably out on their feet, but they're still fighting.
Oh, my God.
Oh! drives it down with the idolizer. And now it's going to do it. Idol gets one win for sexual harassment.
Your winner and advancing to the championship title tournament, Justin Idol.
Eric, you got to be proud of your boy. Your championship partner represents sexual harassment very well.
It's a bittersweet night, Joe. I might be out, but Justin Idol's going all the way to the top. Joe, it's been a pleasure. You're the best play-by-play man in the business, buddy. I'm going to go celebrate.
Well, thank you, sir. We thank Eric Ecstasy for his time and insight. And we thank Justin Idol and Jason Gory for a fantastic singles matchup here tonight in just the qualifying round of the IWC Championship Tournament. Eric, out on the entranceway now to congratulate his tag partner. We are going to see in this tournament 3 predominantly tag team athletes: Vendetta, Xion, and Justin Idol attempt to come into their own and capture singles gold. And it's great to see their partners right there to support them. Justin Idol moves on to the Elite Field IWC title tournament.
Oh man, these showers during court time are great. I just had to do a pre-match shower to get myself wet, but I don't really have a match. I'm getting sick and popping, so I want to get this over with. Hopefully the DJ guy doesn't screw up my music when I go out there, because he ain't gonna do. Whoa, you got connections to music. Can you score me some Jonas Brothers tickets? Because I'll take it.
If you heard what I was saying outside a little while ago, you shouldn't be worried about Jonas Brothers tickets. Listen to me. I know all about the kiss of death. I know all about it. Look at me. Don't have any regrets. Listen, look at me. No kiss of death and no regrets. I'll be out there.
Well, we just heard the comments of Jimmy Demarco and, of course, Bubba the Bulldog. He said he'd be out here. He's with me right now. Bubba, thank you for joining us in the broadcast position.
You know something? This is probably at times a more familiar position for me than inside the ring, having done broadcasting my entire life. But I got to tell you, I am so happy to be back in the IWC.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following one-fall contest is set for a 20-minute time limit, and it is a championship tournament qualifying match. Introducing to you first, escorted by his tag team partner Marshall, the entourage, and of course the manager Mickey Gambino. She represents, weighing at 226 pounds, from Ozone Park, New York. He is one half of the Gambino brothers, Mickey Gambino.
It was July of 2007 when the Gambinos were put against the Hollywood Balls in a tag team encounter against their will, and that is when we saw the infamous Kiss of Death, where Demarco and Vendetta laid down for the tag champions, the Gambinos. However, the family has threatened to do the same thing tonight when they were put at odds in the heavyweight title tournament. And we are about ready to see the entrance of the man, the myth, the perverted one himself, the Reverend of Ranch, Delicious Jimmy Demarco, who you just told, no regrets.
No regrets. He has a chance to be in the championship tournament, and he needs to take advantage of it.
Weighs in at 206 pounds. He is one half of the Hollywood Bulls. He is Delicious Jimmy Demarco.
And Bubba, we heard your speech about your career. some of the opportunities you feel you may have not followed through on completely, some of the opportunities you think may have slipped through your fingertips, and Jimmy Demarco is in a similar situation right here. He could be, as scary as it sounds, our heavyweight champion, but he could throw it all away for loyalty to the family. Do you think he got through to him?
I can tell you this, every one of these fans sitting here and everybody watching the video right now paid money to see this match, and as the head of IWC until Notorious Norm Connors comes back, I got this is a match. There cannot be a kiss of death. There cannot be a kiss of death because this kid, Jimmy Demarco, love him or hate him, can't have regrets. It could be the worst thing that he ever did with his career if he throws this match away.
Delicious Jimmy Demarco. At this time, Jimmy Demarco, also known as the Prime Minister of Perversion.
Oh, Lord. He's forcing Chuck to say these two. Check, we got that one.
The Duke of Debauchery.
Yeah.
Dr. Delicious. The Foreman of Fornication.
We could be here a while.
And
I hope not.
Jumbo Jimbo, the Good Reverend Doctor, and Juicy James would like to dedicate this match to all the starving children around the world living in poverty. Whether in this life or the next, they will all, let's see, suck his muscles.
What?
Amen. P.S. Hold on. We're not done yet. Hopefully soon. Systematic beatings of the elderly and children will take place post-match, courtesy of DeMarco Rico, free of charge.
You know, I'm trying to give this young guy some advice. You know, and it seems that he's more interested in being funny than he is in wrestling and going for the heavyweight goal.
So you can advance, and I can get to the back and get something to eat.
Don't do it, Jimmy. Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't do it.
Well,
don't do it.
The kiss of death.
There it is.
Will he throw away this opportunity?
Don't do it, Jimmy. Don't do it, Jimmy.
He's thinking about it. He got
no regrets, Jimmy. No regrets. Take advantage of it.
Bell sounds. We're underway.
Here we go. No.
Oh, come on.
This is not what the fans paid to see.
No. Wait, kicked out. It looks like your words may have done something, Bubba.
I got to tell you something, that you can't throw away an opportunity when you're young. Oh, here he goes. He's grabbing the microphone.
I was just thinking, and I mean, I know all those little kids in Texas and all that, the drowning people are going to suck my muscles, but I think I want you to suck my muscles first, bitch.
Wow.
And I'm telling you something, this kid has got some talent. If only he would put it to use like it appears that he's doing right now in the ring.
Well, Jimmy Demarco's always been distracted with his perverted, deviant-like behavior, but now we got a hell of a fight within the family.
And you know something, sometimes family fights get specifically and intentionally brutal because you've had a fight in your household. It gets a lot nastier because you know each other that much better.
And we got the whole family surrounding ringside here. Marshall, the Flunkies, Vicky came out with Mickey. Vendetta came out behind Demarco. And Mickey to the outside. Got to take a moment here to commend you, Bubba, on your great decision making so far as part of IWC management. And Demarco with a foreign object, a sign from the crowd.
I'll tell you something, that was the best use of the sign all night.
I'll tell you what, great decision to make this a three-way matchup later tonight for the Super Indy title. Great decision taking care of CJ Sensation as well. We can't have company reps making such accusations like he's been making these past few months.
Absolutely not. And like I said, as long as I'm in charge of IWC, the fans are in charge. It's up to the fans, and every wrestler better put forth their best effort. If not, they won't be around, and that's what's happening with Jimmy Demarco. That's why I said, one, these fans deserve a match, and they're getting a match right now. And two, this kid can't lay down as he did not do and give up one of his greatest opportunities in his career.
Is Demarco using his perverted, unpredictable nature for a positive this time?
That remains to be seen, but at least he's doing the right thing right now.
He's doing the right thing for Jimmy DeMarco, absolutely. And I don't see how Mickey Gambino deserves the right to take a bye into the next round. Certainly not.
There's nobody that deserves a bye. This is professional wrestling. This isn't a tournament where you get a bye, you get in, you get out. This is, you got to earn your way in, and there is not a chance in the world that I was going to let Jimmy DeMarco lay down. It could not happen tonight.
And DeMarco just sent Mickey Gambino crashing into the flunkies on the outside, Flexer and Ferrari. I think the whole family is a bit of outrage over this tournament event.
Where did these flunkies come from? I need to find out more about them. I got to do some investigating, because if they don't deserve to be out here, I'm going to handle that situation too.
Look at this! DeMarco with a high-risk move, and the flunkies got it again.
I may not have to handle this situation. It may have just been handled for me.
Well, I'll tell you what, the more investigating you do into the Gambino's personal lives and business practices, the more frightened you may become.
I got to be honest with you, anything that happens outside of the IWC, I can't get involved with. Whatever they do with their business is their own deal. Anything that happens with the business of the IWC, I will be involved with, and I can guarantee you that. That's
great to hear. Somebody to finally take charge with men like the Gambino family, men like Dennis Gregory, who have run roughshod over this great organization for far, far too long.
And don't think I didn't realize it when everybody was at ringside. Dennis Gregory was not there, and I will remember that.
DeMarco with a knife-edge chop.
I'll tell you something. I think DeMarco has probably one of the hardest heads in all professional wrestling, and he uses it as a weapon, which if I had one that hard, I would do the same.
DeMarco very, very tough. That, no doubt about it. The Dr. Delicious bringing his prescription for perversion, a prescription for pain here tonight. But Mickey Gambino took out the knee of the Delicious one, wraps it right across that hard ring post.
In my opinion, Mickey Gambino is in for a very difficult match, as we've seen thus far, even though he is in control, because he thought that he had a bye. He didn't think he'd be in a match today. He didn't train for the match today. He didn't do any prep for the match today. He didn't think he was going to have an opponent. He thought he was going to walk to the next round, and that puts him at a distinct disadvantage because he was not prepared for this match today.
And essentially, Jimmy DeMarco may have felt the same until you turn his opinion around. And DeMarco, a cheap shot, as we're still seeing same Gambino family tactics. And we have a roll-up for two. The only great thing about it is now they're using it against each other.
Absolutely, and it's good to see. You know something? Once again, these fans paid big money to see this match, and the match I'm glad that we're seeing. Let the best man win at this point, if there is a best man.
Mickey Gambino is certainly the most technically refined of the Gambino family. They want to try to ground Jimmy DeMarco, and in the ring and in life, Jimmy DeMarco is one of the most unpredictable individuals I've ever had the general misfortune of crossing paths with.
I see Vendetta at ringside. I mean, it's hard to say. Where is this whole family going to fall apart? Who's in whose corner? Who's on whose side?
That's a great question. We've already seen Vendetta qualify earlier tonight, and certainly he would love if his Hollywood Ball teammate could make it as well. But we've already seen Marshall Gambino fall short to Shiima Xion. Mickey Gambino, the only hope of the Gambino brother tag team.
And we know that Jimmy DeMarco didn't have a problem taking out the flunkies. The question is he going to have a problem taking out anybody other than Mickey? Because there are more people outside the ring.
That's absolutely true. Everybody's divided here. And Mickey Gambino, a hell of a spine buster. You can see DeMarco's back bow up in pain. Mickey, Texas Cloverleaf coming up. Again, that technical skill of nice guy Mickey coming into play. Doesn't have it arced all the way back, but still applying a lot of pain.
Win or lose, Jimmy DeMarco, at least he didn't lay down. Win or lose, he gave it his best effort. And I can tell you right now, if he does have a chance to win this match, if he does win this match, it'll be the happiest night in his career in the IWC.
That's what it's all about. Friendships are aside, partnerships are aside. It's all about the top prize in this organization, the heavyweight championship. The belted men like CM Punk, Colt Cabana, Balls Mahoney, and the Sandman have worn so very proudly through the years.
Absolutely. You know something? I've been in this organization since the day it opened, and I've never had that belt. In fact, I can be honest with you, I've never even had the opportunity to wrestle for the belt, and I don't have...
Wait, it's like Cradle here. DeMarco has 2-0.
So close. I never had the chance to even wrestle for the belt, and I've got to tell you something, that is such a great prize. For anybody to even consider passing on it would be ridiculous.
DeMarco with the candy-coated cookie cutter out of nowhere. He did it!
DeMarco wins!
He did it!
And look at the family at ringside.
Your winner and advancing to the championship tournament is
what to say. They don't know what to do. Marshall Gambino looking at Jimmy Demarco.
The best laid plans of the family have seemingly backfired. Demarco leaving with Vendetta. Demarco getting cheered. Demarco's in the tournament.
I have to tell you something. He would have never had the shot had he laid down, and he's in the tournament.
Jimmy Demarco has no regrets here tonight. Jimmy Demarco, there's no looking back for him. He has made it into the heavyweight title tournament.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following triple threat elimination match is set for a 45-minute time limit, and it is for the IWC Super Indy Championship.
21 years old and already contesting for the Super Indy Championship. Only one man has worn that belt at a younger age. And I'll tell you this, Gargano's big night could be tonight after months under the Jerry Lynn learning tree. But how will the addition of Super Hentai, the greatest Super Indy champion of all time, put a monkey wrench in Gargano and Lynn's strategy? Gargano has had two tremendous matches with Jerry Lynn. One for the Super Indy title, one as a Super Indy qualifier. Gargano took Lynn to his limit both times, but came up short. Lynn was so impressed by the effort of young Gargano, he took him under his wing and began teaching him as a mentor. But has Lynn taught Gargano enough to hit that next level? Tonight we'll answer that question, as perhaps a show-stealing contest is a moment away. Gargano's a former tag champion, but is he prepared for high stakes in the Super Indy division? He has a very tall order to live up to. A matchup made less than an hour ago by Bubba the Bulldog, the acting force of IWC management, here tonight in the absence of promoter Norm Connors. And as much as I've been at odds with Bubba in the 5.5 years I've been here, I've got to say, he's been making all the right calls so far.
Competitor number 2, weighs at 185 pounds. He was trained in Hayabusa, Japan, and was the very first ever Super Indy champion, Super Hentai.
Hentai won the first Super Indy tournament in 2002, defeated Christopher Daniels in the finals before losing the championship some 51 weeks later to none other than the phenomenal AJ Styles. Hentai's gone down in the books as the man that took the Super Indy division to new heights, gave it prestige, took it to Japan, and helped make it a household term in independent wrestling. After a hell of a matchup with Jerry Lynn several weeks back, Hentai reasserted himself in the top of the Super Indy contenders ranks, and Bubba the Bulldog was so impressed by him, he put him into this matchup tonight, making it a three-way match. And now a man with more experience in the game than Hentai and Gargano combined. A timeless veteran and legend, Jerry Lynn.
Weighing at 245 pounds, the reigning Super Indy champion, Jerry Lynn.
His resume has been stated many times, but always bears repeating. NWA World Tag title, TNA X Division title, WWE Light Heavyweight title, in addition to the ECW Television and World Heavyweight Championship. Jerry Lynn is one of the most star-studded, decorated athletes in professional wrestling, over the past 20 some odd years. And Bubba the Bulldog, what a great decision to sign this matchup impromptu.
Like I said, IWC always brings you great wrestling, but sometimes great isn't good enough. I thought to myself, what could make this match better? Jerry Lynn, Gargano, they've wrestled twice, they've been great matches. It's time to get better than great, and I put Super Hentai into this match and made it a three-way dance.
Certainly Super Hentai, the man that made Super Indy famous. Stephen Coulter, the referee assigned to this contest. Jerry Lynn, 20 plus years in the game. Johnny Gargano, only a little over 3. Hentai's got about a decade. Very contrasting styles.
It is a very interesting match when you look at the fact that Jerry Lynn has been in there for 20 years. You've got Super Hentai, who's been in the business for 10 years, and Johnny Gargano, who is new and up-and-comer. This, potentially, with the 3 members and the 3 styles in the ring, should and probably will steal the show tonight.
All 3 guys have...
Not to put any pressure on them.
Not at all. Well, these guys can live up to the challenge, no doubt about it. All 3 of these men have been all around the world, into foreign countries. All 3 of these men have competed in a Ring of Honor ring in their careers. They are very, very well traveled, but of course, nothing can compete with Jerry Lynn. And of course, Bubba, you've had a lot of great mentors in your day as a quick pinning combination. Of course, Samu, Shane Douglas, you touched on a little bit earlier. Of course, you and Kurt Angle have had your time together in the past. What does having a great mentor mean to you? How does it improve you in between those rows?
I can promise you that 3 years into his career, Johnny Gargano never in a million years thought he'd have the opportunity to get in the ring with Jerry Lynn, let alone having done it several times. And when he looks back in 10 years, he'll remember this and he'll wish and hope, and he made the best of it. I know he had 2 close misses when it comes to the match with Jerry Lynn, and I know that he'll, look at this, unbelievable. How can you even call this match?
A series of pinning combinations here. Both guys trying to, all 3 guys I should say, trying to catch the other by surprise. Gargano trips Hentai, and you gotta know, Bubba, even though Lynn and Gargano are on friendly terms, they've talked a lot lately, you gotta believe they're not gonna hold anything back in that ring. It's all about the Super Indy title.
Absolutely, these are 3 professional wrestlers. The key word of this is professional, and professional wrestlers, it doesn't matter who you're wrestling against, you give your best effort every single night. And as you can see, the match started with a series of near pins. And why? Because they all want to win. They all want to wear the gold, the Super Indy Championship.
Gargano with a go behind on Lynn. Lynn with a standing side switch. Watch Hentai here. Double back body drop. Hentai throws such a different dynamic into this matchup, having not been a scheduled participant in this matchup until under an hour ago. Gargano and Lynn, you have to think, are going to have to change their entire strategies to add for an extra, very dangerous individual.
But you have to know that Super Hentai is always in great shape. I've never seen Super Hentai in better shape than he is tonight, and I felt like he was more than ready to get into this match. And as you can see, Jerry Lynn and his expertise and experience are taking control of the match.
It's been 5 years since Hentai's won the Super Indy title. Hentai and Lynn are 1-1 in their history, and Stephen Coulter just got it.
Jerry Lynn is giving out hip tosses like, I don't know, man. Look at that. Now let me ask you a question. Stephen Coulter, he looks confused, and he's the referee in charge.
Well, obviously unintentional by Jerry Lynn. No disqualification will be needed here.
It looks like they're working it out themselves. Jerry Lynn is apologizing to the referee, apologizing to Gargano.
What the hell?
What is this?
Well, Stephen Coulter just won your title. Bobby Williams is the #1 contender. Sort that out.
What just happened? You know something? I don't even know what happened. Is Stephen Coulter now the champ?
All I can say is, oops.
This is not how I expected my first reign in the IWC to get started. I don't think that really counted.
You know, I have a few good reps in my phone if you need to make some calls. I've had my hat pass with
As you, the fans are obviously showing their disdain for whatever that was that just happened. Jerry Lynn doesn't look any happier either.
As if the dynamic wasn't thrown off enough in this matchup. Now all 3 guys got to regroup, and remember, we have a very, very serious title match going on here.
You know, I almost feel like I should walk out there and just tell him, sorry son, you're a referee, you don't have a chance of winning.
I think he'll figure it out. Even Stephen Coulter's that intelligent.
Probably not, though.
Super Hentai, Gargano and Lynn, smart enough to know the stakes here. We're back at a standstill.
I'm going to tell you, if I'm Jerry Lynn, Johnny Gargano, or Super Hentai, I'll tell you something.
I think Coulter's a little verklempt here.
He is sad, but you know, we don't really care about him. He's the referee. We care about the wrestlers. I mean, all 3 of these wrestlers are getting a break until right now.
Well, Gargano picked his spot, the southpaw, with the left forearm shots, and Jerry Lynn outsmarting everybody. He's not involved at all. He doesn't need to until there's a pinning combination.
Super Hentai just hurt his jaw, which is never a good feeling, because when your jaw hurts, everything hurts, and he's falling off with a big left.
Gargano and Hentai have met in the ring before. All three men are familiar with each other.
Absolutely, and that's what makes this such an interesting matchup.
Hentai blocks the suplex.
Big rights from Hentai to try to break up the move.
Hentai sends Gargano in reversal as Hentai collides with Lynn. Triple knees in the corner, and Gargano follows through. Accidentally hit Lynn, but he won't lose any sleep over it.
There's very little that I believe is truly accidental in the world of professional wrestling.
Hurricane Rana sends Gargano out with great velocity. And Hentai gonna charge in with a Hurricane Rana on Jerry Lynn. And Hentai, as you mentioned, ready in a moment's notice, is down in this match.
And here we go.
Lamai struck cradle for 2.5.
Woo! Tell you, Super Hentai, when I added him to make it a three-way dance, I knew he would give 110%, and all three of these guys are going to give 100%, 110% right now.
I think it's a great decision. I think has to be considered an accidental oversight, and nothing else. That Hentai was left off of this great card. He at least deserves a heavyweight title qualifying match, if not a title match, but it was a great last-minute decision to give Hentai something he has worked so hard for.
When I agreed to fill in for Norm Condos and run the IWC, that was one of the first things I noticed as I looked through the card. I thought, where's Super Hentai? And I put him in the match.
Gargano with Lynn, with his teacher as mentor. Lynn drives Gargano down, the back of his head, inverted DDT, 2-0.
I'll tell you something, Stephen Coulter, because of his upsetness to what happened earlier, he better not affect the outcome of this match.
Upset. Hentai with a splash. And Lynn on top with a cover, 2-0. I think Coulter's learned his lesson from his past wrong deeds, but you know, it's kind of tough to say with Hentai in that ring, but really there's no more respected veteran in this business today than Jerry Lynn. So giving and so helpful to the young talent throughout the locker room, no matter where we go.
And if there was a professional organization with any credibility, Jerry Lynn wrestled for, whether it was the old ECW, the Vince McMahon's promotion, WCW, he wrestled for them all, and he's here inside the IWC, and he is the Super Indie Champion, and you know it will take every ounce of effort any of these guys have to get it away from him.
Hentai went DDT, but Lynn able to push Hentai off. Gargano gonna charge in. And Lynn facing Gargano and drops the leg to the back of the head.
What a tremendous move, the spinning leg drop, choking him over on the second rope, and he's over top.
Pescado puts the brakes on. Gargano had it scouted. Very smart for a man so young.
I'm telling you, this is an opportunity that Gargano is going to remember for the rest of his life. In the ring, giving it his best with Jerry Lynn.
Somersault plancha there with a senton. Gargano puts all his weight into Jerry Lynn, and that's a staple from Jerry Lynn's playbook. Gargano's learned well.
Absolutely. It's a guy that he probably watched many videotapes of. He's probably aspired to be.
But keep in mind, Hentai's had a few minutes for a breather now. He's going to dive. Suicide dive. Lynn moved, but Gargano still got it.
The experience of Jerry Lynn allowed the two men to collide outside the ring, and he had taken a pretty nasty fall outside the ring when Gargano did the plunge on top of him, and now Jerry Lynn has a moment to recover.
I'll put you on the spot, Bubba. Pick me a favorite.
In this match?
Absolutely.
I got to go with the champion. I got to go with Jerry Lynn. He's got the experience. He's got the know-how. I think Jerry Lynn's going to be able to hold on to the title tonight.
Well, I've got to put my money on Super Hentai personally. He's a last-minute addition here. He's always ready, as you said, always prepared. And Lynn and Gargano's strategies certainly did not involve a three-way matchup. They've known each other. They've battled each other many times. And Hentai throws a definite monkey wrench into this situation. Go behind, switch by Lynn, right into Gargano's foot. Check this out. Gargano hits over both men. German suplex to Hentai.
Oh.
Lynn got the sunset flip.
Wow. Could you only imagine if Gargano would have pinned both of them? I think that would be the first time I've ever seen that in a wrestling ring.
That would no doubt have been huge, and Gargano was less than a second away from doing it. He's feeling it here. He's got the crowd on the side.
Now it appears that Gargano, the 3-year veteran, the wrestler with the least amount of experience, is in control. Oh, a big kick.
A kick to Lynn, the momentum drove Hentai down in his head with a DDT. A cover, 2-0.
Wow.
Near fall situation. And Bubba, the theme here, wait a second, covering Hentai for 2. The theme about this matchup is respect. No matter who wins this matchup, no matter who's eliminated when, you gotta believe mutual respect lives very strongly through all three of these athletes.
And you also have to understand that this is what IWC is all about. 3 men in the ring giving 110%. You'll hear me say that 1,000 times, and I say it a lot. These guys give it their all. Here we go.
Jack Briscoe roll up out of the corner for 2. Gargano on top, and Lynn and Gargano back and forth with these pinning combinations here. It's an amazing sequence. Keep in mind, Bubba, this is an elimination matchup.
I'm getting dizzy watching this.
We're gonna have 2 falls before it's all said and done. No fluke champions here. And nobody's shoulders are
Round
down.
and round they go. Dizzy, yes they are.
And this gives Hentai an opening if he can get to his feet. Gargano and Lynn collide with each other, and Hentai with a double clothesline.
And they're all down 1, 2. Who kicks out of that one? I don't even know who was pinned.
Everybody was pinned, everybody kicked out. Great instincts, championship instincts by all 3 athletes.
10 minutes has elapsed. 10 minutes.
And Hentai, no doubt the best of the 3 so far in terms of having his wits about him. Hentai went for the knees again. Lynn counters, springs off the second. Powerbomb attempt. Hentai, death grip on the second rope.
Blocks it. Punches, punches, punches.
Lynn couldn't position the weight right, but into the TKO.
Oh, that is what I call great wrestling. 1,
That's going to be all. No.
I really thought Jerry Lynn had it right there. And all of that with Johnny Gargano, a chance to regroup on the corner.
Well, these men have done a great job so far of picking their spots. It's the veteran instincts of Lynn and Hentai and the veteran teachings to Gargano from
Going
Jerry
for
Lynn.
the cradle power driver, but Johnny Gargano climbing the top rope behind him. Neither wrestler realizes that.
That's right. Now they see him. Now it's too late. Gargano, cross body to Jerry Lynn. Shoulders are down, and almost a count of 3.
Well, I tell you, you called Super Hentai, I called Jerry Lynn. Neither one of us called Johnny Gargano, and he was 1/60th of a minute away from getting the Super Indy Championship.
Well, or at least eliminating one of the challengers. We got elimination rules here. Hentai with a cradle. And Jerry Lynn just got eliminated.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Wow.
Jerry Lynn is eliminated.
I think the top rope crossbody from Gargano stunned Lynn more than anything, caught him by surprise. He never recovered from that. Hentai got the cradle, trapped him tightly, and Jerry Lynn, the champion, is the first out.
I have got to tell you, we now know we're going to have a brand new Super Indy champion. And I've got to tell you, I think the fans here in the IWC are just as shocked as I am.
Great showing of respect for Jerry Lynn. Tremendous effort, tremendous reign.
They get to their feet.
Now who will win the title? Will it be the man that started it all, or will the Super Indy division embark on a new chapter?
And that new chapter is a younger chapter. As you said, 3 years of experience. The Super Indy champion might have 3
Gargano,
years of experience.
maybe setting up for Uniquely You, that full Nelson facebuster. Hentai knows it, countered it, Northern Lights suplex, but Gargano counters that. Both men are going for a kill shot here, but both men are going for counters.
Super Hentai seems a little bit wobbly. Big boot.
Hentai get a charge. A double palm thrust right to the chest. Is that going to be all? No. And another tough test for Gargano here in the form of Super Hentai. One of the best win-loss records in this company history. One of the most respected in this company.
Oh, and a big power bomb.
Right into the power bomb. Cover here. Gargano. Smart cover, but kick right to the side of the face. Is that going to be enough? Another deep hook, but no.
I'll tell you, I never, after the power bomb with the big super kick on his knees, I thought Johnny Gargano just had the Super Indy title all wrapped up, and I, for one, was going to be shocked here at ringside. But I'll tell you something, he has showed that he is a very well experienced, and he is ready to be the Super Indy champion. So if he does get the belt, he is a very worthy champion.
Keep in mind when Hentai survived in his Super Indy reigns, from Daniels to Styles to Punk to Cabana, and Gargano went for a splash, but nobody home.
Johnny Gargano has impressed me, and as the temporary head of this company, I have to tell you something. I see nothing but a great future for Gargano. Oh, and a power slam!
Great rotation, snaps for the power slam, and another deep hook, but no. Wow. And again, much like the qualifying heavyweight title matches, this shows you how much these men want it.
Absolutely. Super Hentai climbing to the top rope. We know he can fly.
Might be time to live to fly and fly to live here. Maybe ace is high. No, signaling the knees. Hentai.
Oh, that hurt. hurts. Those knees are injured. Well, how will that affect the finish of this match? Both men beaten. Johnny Gargano going up. Hentai in the corner. Here comes Gargano.
Knees first from 8-10 feet in the air. Those knee pads don't do much to protect a fall that hard. And Hentai. Center ring exchange again. Coulter. Hey, wait a second.
Wow, Johnny Gargano going with a low blow. I'm shocked to see that. And
This match is about respect. Gargano just won the title.
I cannot believe it.
That wasn't respect.
Help me understand what just happened here. You see 3 men that gave 110%. You see 3 men that busted their butts. You see 3 men, and then the match gets decided with a low blow. You gotta be kidding me.
The winner of this bout and IWC Super Indie Champion, Johnny Gargano.
I can guarantee you this. Jerry Lynn, Super Hentai, none of those individuals taught Johnny Gargano that.
Well, you know something, Johnny Gargano tried on many occasions to beat Super Hentai, and finally he went in a direction I don't think anybody saw coming. And I have to say, I've never done anything like that in my entire career.
Well, be that as it may, it's plain and simple. Gargano picked his spot. And as much as I hate to say it, I've seen it in Cleveland before. I've dealt with it for many, many months. I'm afraid IWC may have just gotten introduced to the real Johnny Gargano.
And you know something? He did whatever it took to win the belt. And as you can see, when he goes to bed tonight, he's going to be sore. And whether the fans love him or hate him, he's going home with the gold, the IWC Super Indie Championship.
There's no way Jerry Lynn, there's no way Super Hentai can be proud over this. And I can't believe Gargano's proud over this. Gargano may have let his true colors shine through, but this is not the end of Hentai and Gargano. But there's your new Super Indie Champion, Johnny Gargano. A man who's only had a handful of matches in IWC.
It's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's at 286 pounds,
Logan Shulo has defeated CJ Sensation. Logan Shulo has met Troy Lawrence in the past as well. But what an opportunity for this youngster in his rookie year, only his 5th or so match, he could be in a heavyweight championship tournament. And Mr. Gargano, as the bell sounds, we're going to touch momentarily on your Super Indie title victory. A matchup that was all about respect between yourself, Super Hentai, Jerry Lynn, and it ended with a low blow?
Joe Dombrowski was all about respect. And quite frankly, all I have to say is, IWC, I've been here for a year and a half, and finally, I think it's time for the real Johnny Gargano to come out.
Well, I've seen the real Johnny Gargano.
You love him.
I don't particularly enjoy the real Johnny Gargano, and if that's what IWC is in store for, then we have a lot of serious problems. But be that as it may, Logan Shulo overpowering Troy Lawrence early on, and certainly you are the Super Indie champion, but there is no bigger prize in IWC than the heavyweight championship, and these two men hope to begin that journey here tonight. Certainly a student of the game such as yourself, how do you assess these two athletes?
Well, I'm gonna have to say, Troy Lawrence, he reminds me of young Johnny Gargano, Joe Dombrowski. How old is he? How old is he? He's been doing this a couple months?
He's older than you. He's more experienced than you.
If I remember correctly, I beat balls out Troy Lawrence.
That's true.
I beat him, I pinned him to the mat, 1, 2, 3. Logan Shulo, I'm pretty sure I can beat him too. So, if these two guys, if they advance, one of them, I don't know, if one of them advances, whichever they decide to do it, if they advance and win the heavyweight title, I'm pretty confident I can go on, beat them, and unify the Super Indie and heavyweight title. And then, I'm gonna go to Japan.
What?
And I'm gonna win the international title.
What?
I'm gonna be the first ever Triple Crown champion.
Troy Lawrence trying to take down Logan Shulo. Logan Shulo again explaining that power advantage. I think you're getting a little bit ahead of yourself, Mr. Gargano. I can very easily picture Troy Lawrence defeating you for that title, and I can see Logan Shulo giving you a run for your money too.
I'm gonna have to admit that was quite impressive, Joe Dombrowski. He's a very big man, and to pull out those maneuvers, that's crazy.
Well, so what made you decide to pull out this real Johnny Gargano here tonight? You pick your spot, is that what it was?
It's called opportunity, Joe Dombrowski. Opportunity. Opportunity, it comes in different forms. Super Hentai being added to this match was a roadblock. But you see, Johnny Gargano overcame that roadblock, and Johnny Gargano did what he had to do to win the belt. And we'll see what happens.
Troy Lords hits hard there. Clothesline by Shulo for 2.5. And Logan Shulo, a major career-making potential opportunity here. But Troy Lords has been so dead set on coming back. You can hear the impact of those shots. Lords, former multiple-time Super Indy champion, wants so badly to be back at the top of the contenders rankings. Huge
if I remember
night
correctly, Jordan Browse, back in Newville, Logan Shulo defeated Ball-Top Troy Lords 1, 2, 3.
Well,
if I remember correctly.
Logan Shulo certainly has had a very impressive string of matches here, including against the recently fired CJ Sensation, and Logan Shulo returning the favor in the corner with these chops.
So really, Ball-Top Troy Lords finds himself in a situation he's not used to being in. He's actually the underdog against a younger rookie. Usually he has all the experience and stuff, but Logan Shulo looks like he's got his number.
It's very possible. Troy Lords spent some time out of action as a result of that 6'8" behemoth, Jason Bane.
Jason Bane is a big, hairy ogre.
Can't deny that.
I could beat him up.
I could deny that a little bit.
I bought a gun from Kmart.
What?
I could shoot Jason.
Stop it. Don't say that. We apologize for those remarks. This is, I thought that maybe the IWC here in Pittsburgh would humble you, maybe. Yeah, I was wrong.
I'm the Super Indy champion, baby. Super Indy champion, baby.
Please. Troy Lords down on the knee of Logan Shulo. Cover.
That could tear an ACL.
That's all he's going to do. Absolutely could.
Hyperextend the knee. Logan Shulo may be out of this one.
Tightly enforced ring rope there. Nowhere for Logan Shulo to go. Shulo.
That's very smart. Logan Shulo is the big man, so he's attacking the base. You chop down that tree, and it's even playing too.
You attacked something on Super Hentai. Wasn't exactly the base, was it?
I'm not going to comment on that, Dombrowski.
Well,
I mean, we have video proof.
We do have video proof.
I think I won that match fair and square.
You did not.
It was a tight-knit roll-up.
Shoulders are down.
5 minutes gone by, 5 minutes.
Tight-knit roll-up. You could not escape. It isn't my fault if maybe he had slight pain in the testicular region. That's not my fault. I didn't do anything. My foot slipped. I lost my balance and my leg kicked back.
We're not going to get anywhere with this. I apologize, man. As Lords just continuing to wrench the knee of Logan Shulo, already qualified for this tournament. Vendetta, Shiima Xion, Justin Idol, and Jimmy DeMarco, all joining number 1 seed Dennis Gregory. Star-studded list already. This tournament's going to continue next month at Revengeance 5 and also go on to promotional consideration paid for by the following: our huge Steel City Con shows in Cheswick, Pennsylvania. And before the end of all of that, we're going to have a new heavyweight champion as Lords wrenches the leg and knee of Logan Shulo again, takes him right down.
Let me tell you something, Jordan Browski. I'm taking yoga now, but I know, Diamond Dallas Page, Feel the Bang. I know that knees are not supposed to bend that way. Might be an educated guess, but I don't think they're supposed to bend.
That's very true.
I've tried. Diamond Dallas Page might be able to do it, but not me. So if Troy Lords is in the ring with Diamond Dallas Page right now, this technique might not work.
Well, Logan Shulo, no offense to him, has quite a bit of road to travel before he's Diamond Dallas Page. But Troy Lords certainly could be on Dallas Page's championship-type level here if he can capture the heavyweight title at the end of this tournament. And again, right down to the knee, systematic dissection of that left leg.
That's smart. He's not a veteran for no reason. He knows what he's attacking. He knows what he's doing. He's picking. Oh, I've never seen that before.
Drops all his weight down on that leg and knee as well.
As I was saying, he is a veteran. He knows what he's doing. I'm sure he went back, he watched the tape, and he realized what he should do, and he's executing his game plan.
Former tag champion, former Super Indy champion.
Not the current Super Indy champion.
No.
Mr. JG, Johnny Gargano.
Mr. JG, yes, Johnny
Gargano. Mr. JL for the belt.
Yes, you did.
No offense.
You didn't pin him, though. That's another story. You get to pin Jerry Lynn in IWC. You barely pinned Super Hentai.
I pinned Super Hentai. These people bought this DVD off of IWCWrestling.com. Little shill for you. That's professionalism, Jordan.
Yeah, well,
that's professionalism. Little shill for you. People who watch that, they know who the true champion is.
I think
they appreciate
do.
Johnny Gargano.
Oh.
They appreciate the bees knees, the cast pajamas, and the whole shebang himself.
Logan Shulo trying to battle his way back into this matchup against Balls Hot Troy Lords. Troy Lords on the vertical base first, and right back to the knee. Shulo got to fight through the pain here, got to dig down deep. Certainly an opportunity like this does not come around very often. Lords just got dropped in the back of his head. Huge clothesline as well.
That left knee might be injured, but that right arm's doing quite well right now.
No doubt, Logan Shulo for the ride. Look, huge clothesline midair. Troy Lords goes down. Logan Shulo cover. This could be all no.
That's a lot of impact coming off that second rope, Dombrowski.
Near fall situation. Lords did not have gravity on his side in that instance, and Shulo.
He's like Isaac Newton.
He's like Isaac Newton.
Didn't he do a thing where the apple fell from the tree?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, he also invented fig Newton.
He did not.
Little tidbit for you there. Powerbomb attempt.
Lords, Hurricane Rana here out of the powerbomb. Shoulders down, Shulo rolls with it, no. And Troy Lords reverses.
Right on that knee.
Trap the knee down into a figure four. You know, Gargano, you behaved yourself the past year and a half. There's no excuse to be obnoxious now. But be that as it may.
As I said, Dombrowski, the real Johnny Gargano is here.
Yeah. Shulo may be on the verge of tapping out here.
I think these fans and all the ladies in the crowd will particularly love the real Johnny Gargano.
2-0 as Logan Shulo again fighting for his life here. Such blinding pain in the knee right now. Shulo, he's got to fight through this. He's got to somehow get to a rope or counter this, or the lights may be going out very quickly.
We'll see how bad he wants it here, Dombrowski. Heavyweight title shot. He got to the rope.
And Bobby Williams forcing a break. Troy Lords obliging. But the damage has been done, and Shulo.
Looks like Troy Lords kind of injured his own knee performing that minute. He's hopping around a little bit.
Well, when you got a huge leg like Logan Shulo's to try to manipulate.
I got a huge leg.
Troy Lords trying to again go for that knee. Shulo counters.
Right to the temple.
The enziguri kick by Lords couldn't take Shulo down. Watch Shulo up and down with a powerbomb. Cover. It's disarmed. Near fall. Almost a count of three. Logan Shulo, biggest opportunity of his career. Maybe only a heartbeat away here, as Troy Lords still favoring the back of his head. He might not know where he is.
I believe that was a Blue Thunder driver, Joe Dombrowski. A move I perfected quite well in WCW NWO Revenge for the N64.
Troy Lords, reverse DDT, no. Could this be Brainbuster? No, Shulo counters. Shulo elevates Lords and drives him down right on the knee by the looks of things, but the injured knee, and Shulo paid for it. Troy Lords recovers, Shulo couldn't get all of whatever he was going for, and a straight kick to the side of the face, and Troy Lords is going to the tournament.
Your winner and advancing to the championship tournament, Balls Hot Troy Lords.
Balls Hot Troy Lords is victorious. An opportunity for the biggest run of his street singles career. He could be our next heavyweight champion, but as the field of 16 continues to take shape, the competition just keeps getting up. Mr. Gargano, your assessment of this match?
Let me tell you, Joe Dombrowski. Logan Shulo, he's coming a long way. He's coming along each month. Each month he's getting better. One day he maybe one day, he might be able to be as great as Johnny Gargano.
Oh, get out.
But tonight, Joe Dombrowski, Balls Hot Troy Lords, he worked the game plan. He attacked the face, and then after he brought him down to his knees, he kicked him in the temple a couple times. And let me tell you something, you get kicked in the temple a few times, you won't be kicking out.
Mr. Gargano, I must say I'm a bit disappointed in your recent actions, but I thank you for joining us. Troy Lords moving on to the heavyweight title tournament. And Mr. Gargano, please, a slice of humble pie. Plenty more action still to come.
I'll see you people later. I hate y'all.
Next world champ!
Ladies and gentlemen, the following triple threat elimination match will determine the number 2 seed in the IWC Championship title tournament, and it's set for a 45-minute time limit.
Well, big time stakes. We've seen a lot of qualifying matches tonight for the IWC heavyweight title. This is the biggest of them all. Tonight, Right now, we're going to see who gets the number 2 seed, and that's all important because Dennis Gregory is indeed seed number 1.
He hails from Erie, Pennsylvania, weighs in at 215 pounds. He's fabulous, John McChesney.
Joe Dabrowski joined ringside by the Prime Minister Perversion, Reverend DeVos, Duke of Debauchery, Dr. Delicious, whatever else there is. Jimmy DeMarco is here, and this is going to get interesting.
Number 2 seed, right?
Yeah.
You know all about spreading the seed, right, Joe?
John McChesney in the ring right now wants a piece of Dennis Gregory. Gregory has done a lot to manipulate John McChesney in the past. McChesney finally rebelled against the War Machine, was sick of doing Gregory's dirty work, and as a result, he's right in top contention for the heavyweight title. John McChesney will not be bossed around anymore. The last surviving member of the War Machine is on his own.
216 pounds, hails from Los Angeles, California. He's a pitbull, Reyes.
Ricky Reyes, the Rottweiler, the Havana Pitbull, was screwed out of the heavyweight title by Dennis Gregory, and that's what enabled Gregory to capture the title and start the War Machine in the first place. Every subsequent rematch, Gregory's found some way to escape. But tonight,
Is it possible for all 3 of these guys to lose?
no, I don't think so.
Like, there's no way to not become a number 2 seed in this match?
Well, unless we have some kind of 3-way count out or a knockout, and I wouldn't count on that based on who's in this match.
That sucks.
Sorry. Reyes has been chasing Gregory for almost 2 years. If you can get him in the first round of the tournament, all alone, that will certainly go a long way to gaining revenge. And you want to talk about revenge, this is a guy about to be introduced that literally had the title slip through his fingertips.
And finally, the Queen of America. He weighs in at 236 pounds, and he's the baddest man in IWC, Raymond.
Now, does the winner of this match face Dennis, or do they face the number 16th seed? Or number 15th seed? How the hell does the seed stuff work? I'm not a big sports fan. I'm more into magazines and books like Playboy.
Well, I'm not surprised. Well, this is a coveted seat. I would assume they're going to get their hands on Dennis Gregory. But you never know what Norm Connors, Bubba the Bulldog may have in store. And as a matter of fact, you can thank Bubba the Bulldog for the reason you're in the tournament.
I don't know about that.
No regrets.
Let's just talk about what's going on right here.
You embarrassed about something? Did I finally embarrass you?
I wish these fans would make some noise.
Well, we're going to have a lot of noise in the ring right now. It's going to be a hard-hitting altercation. Reyes and Rowe had a best-of-3 series last year. Reyes and McChesney had a tremendous matchup.
Right now, I'm going to pick Reyes as my winner because he doesn't have a lot of hair and he's tan, and I like that because I don't have any hair and I'm tan.
I've noticed. Bell sounds are underway. Rowe could have had that championship last December, call to arms. He was about ready to walk out that cage door, defeat Dennis Gregory, until J-Rock, his then partner, screwed Rowe out of the championship. Rowe has not had a title opportunity since then, but a berth in this tournament will certainly make up for that.
Is this one fall to a finish or elimination?
This format sheet that I have here has it listed as an elimination match.
Who do you think's getting eliminated first?
I don't know. I would have never expected Lynn to be eliminated first in our prior elimination matchup. There's really no telling.
Gargano turned to the dark side. I like it.
Well, as I said earlier, and as Gargano just said a moment ago, we finally got to see the real Johnny Gargano, the one that I know all too well, unfortunately.
He's the man.
And unfortunately, I've known the real Jimmy DeMarco for a couple of years too, and that doesn't change no matter where we go. And John McChesney disposes of Ricky Reyes early. It looks like McChesney wants some of Rowe, and this is the first time Rowe and John McChesney have crossed paths in ring in IWC history.
McChesney's at a disadvantage because he has that long curly hair. Rowe and Reyes don't have nothing you can grab onto and grip.
Well, that's very true.
And Ray Rowe's strong enough, he'll rip his hair out of his head and make him look like Larry from the Three Stooges. With his curly locks.
Ray Rowe is the baddest man in IWC. No doubt about it. And Ray Rowe and Ricky Reyes about to tie up here. And we've seen these men literally knock each other out in the past. Rowe with a history of concussions. Ricky Reyes had no remorse, however, no regrets, as it seems to be the theme of the night.
How strong are Ricky Reyes' knees? I mean, chairs never hurt Ray Rowe. Chairs never hurt him. But a million Ricky Reyes knees? Dude, he must be like made of titanium or something. They make him strong and have band on, don't they?
Well, apparently they do. Ricky Reyes is a perfect example of that. Reyes trying to ground Ray Rowe. Ray Rowe is the suplex machine. He is a hell of a striker, and Reyes has to keep Rowe off his feet so he cannot throw any of those suplexes.
I told you, man, Reyes is my pick.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
You just want McChesney to win because you think he's dreaming.
Oh, please. John McChesney. I would love to see John McChesney get his hands on Dennis Gregory after how Gregory has taken advantage of him, made McChesney do all the dirty work, and then Gregory took all the credit. We have a cover in the ring, and no, only a count of one.
Did you see how high McChesney got on that drop kick?
I did.
I heard he practices that by sitting on hot coals in his butt cheeks. So he gets the spring in his step.
I somehow doubt that. I would have you check with your sources, sir. McChesney gets the knee up, and Reyes to the outside. McChesney all alone. Not for long. Get a charge through, but Ray Rowe was waiting for him. Ill-advised by the fabulous one.
As much as I hate Ray Rowe, that was pretty funny.
And now Reyes and Rowe taking their battle to the outside. Hard forearm shots.
So if they get counted out, does that make McChesney the number 2 seed?
Yes, it would.
Why doesn't he just make sure they get counted out?
Well, I think McChesney here is out to prove a point. Huge elevation on the plancher to the floor. John McChesney had a point to prove with his match with Ricky Reyes, his match with Jake the Snake Roberts. He wants to prove that the old John McChesney is back. Not a yes man, not a henchman, but the guy that survived Christopher Daniels in a cage. The man who's beaten every top athlete thrown in front of him to become a 4-time Super 80 champion.
He's never beat Dennis Gregory.
Not yet. But he's never had an opportunity to
Not
until
yet
now.
doesn't mean anything. You've never kissed a guy, and you could say, hey, not yet. That implies that someday you will kiss a man.
Northern Lights suplex. What the hell kind of point is that?
You got tendencies?
Well, you're one to talk. Cover. Ricky Reyes escapes.
He will never beat Dennis Gregory.
What makes you so sure? Why are you palling around with Dennis Gregory lately?
He's a champ.
Mr. Lieutenant President Commissioner guy? Whatever the hell that was. That charade that only worked about an hour.
All I know is I am the sole pervert. I have to see now, thanks to Bubba the Bulldog firing CJ Sensation.
Well, that's true. Reyes with a forearm in the corner to McChesney.
He wasn't really even that perverted, Joe. What do you think? I mean, he was like a Fago. I'm a Pepsi perverted.
Well, the Pepsi of perversion. Well, next to you, anybody would look like a saint. Ricky Reyes, knife edge chop and a headbutt. Takes Ray Rowe down, and that's certainly not an easy feat. Reyes, suplex attempt on McChesney. Oh, Reyes, the only man in this matchup that knows what it's like to hold the IWC heavyweight title. He held it very proudly. He defeated men like Loki, like Homicide.
Last time we had a tournament for the belt, wasn't he the one who won it?
That was right. The second time we had a tournament. No doubt about it. Reyes survived Loki in the finals. Of course, I mentioned earlier our first tournament back in 2002, won by Classic Colt Cabana, currently Scotty Goldman in the WWE.
Uh-oh, this could get ugly.
Reyes is on Rowe's shoulders. McChesney trying to catch a breather where he's precariously perched. Reyes turns things around with DDT. Rowe got spiked, but McChesney maybe picking his opportunity here. He's on the top turnbuckle. Cross body. Huge hang time by McChesney, who almost got a count of 3.
5 minutes gone by, 5 minutes.
McChesney flies, he's got those hollow bones like a bird. He has that slender, womanly physique.
I don't know about all that, but
Ricky Reyes. He can't overpower Ricky Reyes. Oh, he just did. No, he didn't.
Oh, he did, believe it.
No, he didn't.
Well, Reyes with a counter again. And McChesney back
The
around.
only reason McChesney's keeping in this move so long is because he likes where his head's at.
All right, that's enough out of you. Face first goes Ricky Reyes. Well, you don't like anybody, do you?
I like Vendetta. You're okay.
Well, I don't know if that's good or bad that you feel that way, but okay. Reyes sends McChesney into the buckle. McChesney with a sidestep here, and both feet right to the top of the head of Ricky Reyes. And Ray Rowe ready to explode with a suplex. No.
You're not going to suplex Ricky Reyes that easy.
Reyes counters, and McChesney with a missile drop kick. Rowe out of the way, but Reyes got nailed. Watch Rowe. Ray Rowe may have gone for those knees, but McChesney countered. Rowe didn't follow through. McChesney was waiting to bury those feet into the head of Rowe, but Rowe counters. Full Nelson. Could he be going suplex? No. Reyes just got two for the price of one with the enziguri kick to the top of the head of McChesney and Rowe.
Reyes is some pretty lethal kicks, Joe.
No question. And a hell of a brainbuster too, as McChesney just found out. 2.5, McChesney escapes.
Are you going to have a tournament qualifier next show?
No, I'm not going to be in this tournament.
You're not like the wild card, dark horse, whatever they call it?
I'd be too afraid to end up in there with you.
You'd like it.
16 of the greatest athletes in professional wrestling will be in this tournament before it's all said and done. Spanning Boiling Point, Revengeance, promotional consideration paid for by the following. All of the next 4 IWC live events until only one is left standing.
Is that really the name of the tournament show?
Yes, the Lord Alfred Hayes Memorial. Rowe drops Ricky Reyes. But Reyes takes the leg.
Sharpshooter, perhaps?
Could happen, but Rowe, with a tremendous leg strength, counters out. But Reyes, like the proverbial Havana Pitbull, right back on top of things. Will he get the sharpshooter this time? Can he turn Rowe's massive frame over? He does.
Reyes is so tenacious like a pit bull. You think he was purchased in a pet shop as a child? He is an animal.
Well, he certainly has animalistic tendencies.
See, now McChesney's smart. He's not breaking this up because it's elimination.
Absolutely.
If I was McChesney, I'd be stomping on Rowe's head.
If you were McChesney'd have a lot of problems.
I wouldn't have that hair, I'll tell you that. Smooth, hairless, the way to go.
Rowe gets to the ropes. Reyes is forced to break here, but he's not. And McChesney, that may have been a mistake. Reyes could have been disqualified, thrown out of here. But McChesney sensed an opening and took advantage of it.
What do we have here?
We have McChesney forgetting what's behind him. Now he realizes it.
You better not forget about Ray Rowe.
Picture perfect drop kick, high elevation. Look out, the knees by Rowe, and 2 for the price of 1 again. McChesney pinned, and McChesney will fall.
That takes a lot to kick out of that. I felt that from Ray Rowe. He's no joke.
Rowe almost had McChesney pinned. And Rowe may be getting a little frustrated, which you don't see from him that often. Rowe, overhead with a T-bone, goes John McChesney.
Rowe suplexed 400-pound guys before. Suplexing McChesney must be not.
Dragon sleeper, body scissors, cinched in. McChesney's got a damn chair on the outside. Rowe's got to fight for his life on the inside. It's just going to be all for Ray Rowe's championship dreams. McChesney's got a chair. That's not going to do it. Ray Rowe's tapping.
That's why McChesney had. This is pointless. This is stupid. He could be eliminated.
I've never seen this before, but Ray Rowe tapping.
Why would he distract the referee? He could have had Ray Rowe eliminated.
And Reyes is telling him that. And we had a malfunction in the junction between Reyes and McChesney. Spinning back kick, and Reyes, as if he wasn't before, is tipped off. And McChesney, with that twisting neck breaker, he's on the outside now.
Smart by McChesney to get out of the ring and avoid the pin. Did you hear that?
I did. Ray Rowe, look out, from behind. but again Reyes counters the suplex. Smart maneuvering by Reyes, the former champion. McChesney got nailed. And now Rowe spins powerbomb to Reyes, but McChesney's on top. Everybody's picking their spot here. Frog splash. Is this over? And both men hit Reyes.
It took 2 guys.
Ricky Reyes is eliminated.
Now Reyes is still going to be in the tournament. This just decides the number 2 seed, right?
10 minutes gone by. 10 minutes.
To my understanding, I believe, so you can't have a tournament.
So now he's going to be going into the tournament with a major chip on his shoulder because these 2 fools just screwed him.
Well, I don't know if that's exactly correct logic, but we are looking at Ray Rowe, a suplex machine who has steamrolled his way through multiple tag teams at once, against John McChesney, who is time-tested in tournaments, the winner, of course, of Super Indy 4.
This crowd seems pretty split on who to cheer for here.
Well, they respect them both. They respect McChesney's rebellious nature against Dennis Gregory. They respect the fact he's on his own 2 feet as his own man again. And how can you not respect the path of destruction Ray Rowe has caused?
I don't, because I was trapped in it.
You felt it numerous times. McChesney mentioning the similarities that both these athletes were mentored and trained to a degree by the big daddy of destruction, J-Rock.
Now, why would you ask for that? Where's the logic in that?
Need I remind you what John McChesney went through at the hands of Low Key, a career-defining moment in John McChesney's career.
So is he like one of those sadists who feeds off of pain? Like,
I think John McChesney is trying to rev himself up here, psych himself up. This is what drove McChesney to his first Super Indy title, and he's going right into the front lines of battle again with another lethal striker. And he's not backing down, much like against Low Key.
I felt chops from both these guys, and they might be 2 of the hardest hitters. I mean, despite McChesney's size, that guy can hit.
McChesney learned from the best. He learned from experience.
See what I mean?
And the same tenacity McChesney dug down to find to win the Super Indy tournament, he's using to qualify him for the number 2 seed of our heavyweight title tournament. And Ray Rowe
fired up like this. I've seen him at his worst.
Ray Rowe wants more. McChesney wants more, and neither man's budging. Look out! Head of steam! Rowe steamrolls over McChesney.
That's a broken nose, crushed orbital, you name it. Rowe will break it.
And listen to this crowd explode for the baddest man in IWC, Ray Rowe.
Rowe's got Bane out of the way, and it seems like he set his sights on that title.
Rowe. Look out, Hurricane Rana by McChesney? No. Too much weight, too much power. But McChesney slips up behind. He's got the cover 2-0. And Ray Rowe, very few men have pinned him, but McChesney almost became an addition to that short list. And Rowe, 2.5 on McChesney.
Are you forgetting who you're sitting next to?
I could never forget about you, pal.
I've pinned Ray Rowe.
I remember the t-shirt. I was hoping we wouldn't go into that.
February 17th, 2007, 8:45 p.m.
Ray Rowe is signaling for the knees, and McChesney may not know the date or time after this. McChesney out of his feet, but nobody home on the knees, and Rowe landed right in the back of his frequently concussed head.
Why's he always got so many concussions?
Well, he's a hell of a fighter.
He should get a helmet. He could borrow one from some of the fans here.
You can borrow that damn fruit ball of yours from a few months ago. But I don't think that's going to work. That's not Ray Rowe's style. And Ray Rowe, I think McChesney just woke him up again.
The referee needs to check that beard. I think he has something hidden in it. Like
he does not.
A jaw protector.
Thrust kick. Is this going to be all? No.
This is ridiculous.
Half a count. This is great competition. Brought to you by Norm Connors, Bubba the Bulldog.
15 minutes gone by, 15 minutes.
And the IWC.
Competition sucks.
Competition led you into the tournament.
No. That's all I have to say is not
John McChesney going up top. McChesney, front splash, able to roll through. Mid-air adjustment, right into the knees of Rowe. That's what he was looking for. Could be ball game here. Now another near fall. How are these men surviving?
It's that title. It can do weird things to you.
And it's the number 2 seed, right below Dennis Gregory. And listen to the appreciation from this capacity crowd.
They're saying this is awful.
They are not. Rowe and John McChesney putting it all on the line, and this is just a qualifying matchup. We still got a whole tournament to come.
Oh!
Again, these knife edge chops, the first ever meeting between John McChesney and Rowe is not disappointing. Two of the hardest hitters, two of the most resilient. McChesney going for a TKO. Rowe counters the knee of Woe.
That's gotta be
the back of the head. Is this all? Rowe's got the seed.
Your winner and the number 2 seed in the championship tournament, Raymond Rowe.
Speaking from someone who's actually in the tournament, that's bad news for whoever he faces in the first round.
Absolutely right. And whether it's the first round or the second round, however the bracketing goes, Rowe is almost guaranteed to get his hands on Dennis Gregory, and that's an altercation 10 months in the making. Rowe overcomes, arguably, the 2 other top contenders to move to the number 2 seed in the heavyweight title tournament. And these pairings, this list, this bracketing, just got a hell of a lot more dangerous because the baddest man in IWC has officially confirmed his position. What happens if you have to end up wrestling Rowe?
Well, I beat him once, or do you forget that? He's probably scared of facing me.
I try to forget a lot that you do, Mr. Demarco.
I guarantee you that's in the back of his mind right now. Like, oh, Jesus God Almighty. Sweet Jesus, I might have to face Jimmy DeMarco.
I somehow doubt that.
Well, I'm gone. I'll take care. I love you.
Well, thank you. I tolerate you. And, well, wait a second. Rowe and McChesney. Mid-ring stare down. Rowe, a very respectable, respectful athlete. I think Rowe certainly respects McChesney's change of pace in recent months as well. 2 more men that could meet in the heavyweight title tournament. McChesney, no doubt a bright future ahead of him, but Rowe has the number 2 seed.
Team number 1. Making her IWC debut, Sara and her tag team partner, the former IWC heavyweight champion, Dennis Gregory.
Well, before we dig too deeply into this matchup, Dennis Gregory and Sara on their way to the ring. Gotta get your thoughts on a moment earlier tonight. You, Marshall Gambino, one-on-one, tremendous win for you, sir.
Thank you very much. You see the video that I played earlier?
That was very unnerving and very psychologically based, yes.
I made it all by myself.
You're a very talented man. You're a man of many trades, Shiima Xion. I heard someone tell me earlier that matchup was bear versus twink. What do you know about that?
Bear versus twink?
I'm not familiar with those terms.
I'm not familiar with those terms, but they sound very naughty, Joseph. The kind of thing that would come out of your dirty mind.
I'll be honest, DeMarco whispered it to me.
Of course he did. Of all people, it would be Jimmy DeMarco. I'm not surprised. But let's talk about Dennis Gregory for a second. As the crowd chants bomb appropriately at him.
Well, Dennis Gregory is no longer the IWC champion, stripped of the title.
But why is he wearing the title?
Well, that's an institutional control problem. He attacked Chuck Roberts, he attacked the referee, he attacked promoter Norm Connors. That's why we're having this damn tournament, but he won't give up the belt.
You know what? You can't take anything away from Denny, though. He seriously has been one of the best champions in IWC history.
A very manipulative, cunning champion indeed.
I mean, let's face it, he's probably the #1 seed. I'm like the number 15th seed or something. There's a good chance that I could be meeting him at some point in that tournament.
Dennis Gregory is the #1 seed, I believe. And let's take a look at the opponent.
Amazing with Daizee Haze.
Daizee Haze was the recipient of several inflammatory, uncalled for comments from Dennis Gregory over the past several months. Delirious tried several times to fight for her honor, but every time Dennis Gregory had a trick up his sleeve to sneak by with his then IWC Heavyweight title. As a result, a mixed tag team matchup has been signed, and boy did Gregory find a very talented tag team partner in Sara Del Rey.
He sure did, man. Sara Del Rey, I don't know much about her, but have you seen her eyeliner, her eyeshadow? Very similar to mine. I think she might have been taking a page out of my playbook tonight.
Well, she learned from the best.
That's why I'm out here.
And Delirious certainly very focused in his own unique way.
It's unique, all right.
He knows the task ahead of him here. Gregory has bested him a couple times before. And Gregory, again, running his mouth here. War Machineless, Dennis Gregory. John McChesney, CJ Sensation, Brent Albright, Gory, they all flew the coop. Sebastian Dark, they're all gone. Gregory has not an ally left in the world except for Sara Del Rey. And Sara Del Rey doesn't care if Gregory's chauvinistic, how he feels about women. She just wants to hurt people.
I think so.
And look at the size differential between her and Daizee Haze.
Jamaican me crazy, Joseph. Jamaican me crazy.
Learn from the best again, Shiima.
Climb out here.
And Gregory hightails to the outside as Delirious and Daizee go absolutely loopy here.
Cattywampus, that's the word for that, Joseph.
Cattywampus, I'll make note of that.
Start using it in your everyday vocabulary.
Well, Shiima Xion, it is a very real possibility you will encounter Dennis Gregory in the tournament, whether it's first round, second round, somewhere along the line. How do you scout for somebody who's so intelligent and so manipulative?
I'm not sure. That's why I'm out here. I came out here to scout for him.
Okay, so you're going into this blind.
I am.
All right, well, hopefully you'll get a few pointers here.
Joseph, you gotta understand, I do a lot of recreational activities after my matches. I don't have time to watch Dennis Gregory in the main event. I'm too busy doing things with groupies in the stairwell of the Court Time Sports Center.
I heard about that rumor, by the way.
Every month. You should come back there sometime.
I will, why not? Well, I got a job to do, that's wrong.
Oh, I got a question for you. Let's say you were in the tournament.
Oh, okay.
If you could be any seed, what seed would you want to be?
I want to be the seed furthest away from Jimmy Demarco. That's my official.
I think you're a liar. Well, Joseph the Liar Dombrowski.
Dennis Gregory would like to be pretty far away from Delirious right now. Wants no part of this mixed tag team matchup.
That transition was beautiful.
Denny, not even fully in the ring yet. Bobby Williams is trying to get some contact here, some activity. But few men can match Dennis Gregory with mind games, but Delirious is certainly on that list.
I agree, and I mean, Delirious and Daizee, they have experience teaming together as well. This is the first time popping the cherry, if you will, for Sara Del Rey and Denny Gregory.
Delirious and Daizee Haze travel together. Daizee, the interpreter of Delirious. But how are Gregory and Sara Del Rey going to communicate? Gregory, he's accustomed to telling women to go get him a sandwich. And Sara Del Rey does not get anybody sandwiches. I got news for you. That headlock by Daizee Haze, who we've seen compete here in the past. Take over. We've seen Sara Del Rey here in the past as well. These women have certainly crossed paths. Sara Del Rey has the size advantage, the power advantage. Daizee trying to keep Sara off the vertical base, but Del Rey back up to her feet, able to create some distance between her body and Daizee's. The right here, shoulder tackle, and there's the power of Del Rey. Pace quickens, that favors Daizee Haze back into the side headlock.
Daizee Haze one step ahead.
Absolutely true. She's got quickness on her side. Keep in mind the credentials of Sara Del Rey, trained by the American Dragon Bryan Danielson.
Who is Daizee Haze trained by?
Well, that'll be maybe Delirious. Who knows?
That's quite possible. I just wonder who has more experience right now. Daizee Haze, Sara Del Rey?
Well, that's possible. Daizee Haze certainly spent a lot of times riding the road to Delirious. Matt Sydal as well, currently known as Evan Bourne. So
she's trained with some of the best.
Daizee Haze knows what she's doing. We've seen her compete with women and men here in IWC before.
It's true. It's very true. Whoa, that's almost hit me, Joseph.
Yeah.
What did he throw?
We have large, colorful flowers flying through the air. It's on a trip, but be that as it may, Daizee Haze 2-0.
Right back to that headlock, though. Daizee Haze.
Well,
staying on her.
You control the head, you control the body.
You control the body.
I don't know what that means.
Me either.
5 points of balance, the head and each appendage. You got to focus on one and wear away at it. And the tag is made, Dennis Gregory.
Is it legal for a man to be hitting a woman in this match,
I don't believe this is an intergender match. I believe this is a mixed tag match.
Well, you didn't get your facts straight.
Which would mean the men with the men and the women with the women.
Well, what's going on right now? Look at him.
Well, Daizee Haze has got to get to her corner.
Oh.
And Dennis Gregory wouldn't have minded putting his hands on Daizee Haze in a very physical way, certainly. Gregory and Delirious having a very unique verbal sparring match. And the crowd chanting something.
They're chanting bah, bah, bah.
And it seems to work as far as getting the adrenaline in Delirious pumping.
You know when Delirious talks, you know what it reminds me of?
What?
It was like subliminal verses when you could play a tape backwards. Have you ever done that before?
I know that was, so you're saying if we play Delirious interviews backwards, we're going to get an actual coherent thought.
Exactly.
5 minutes gone by, 5 minutes.
Shiima Xion, you just cracked the code.
I think I did.
That's why you're where you are today. That's why you're world travel.
That's why I'm out here.
That's why they throw money at you in Mexico.
Wow.
Side headlock by Dennis Gregory. Picking up where Daizee Haze left off from Sara Del Rey. But not going to work too well. Delirious quickens the pace. Hip toss, elbow, clothesline. The former 5-time champion is in big-time trouble.
Oh, what? Look at this.
Tags in Sara Del Rey.
Beating Sara Del Rey to Delirious right now.
I don't think she minds.
You know, well, she's not backing down. She's not seem intimidated.
And Delirious has some morals. He wants nothing to do with hitting a woman.
He's a nice guy. Southern gentleman.
The southern edge of sanity, right?
Yeah.
Delirious and Sara Del Rey arguing over who's the stronger of the two. I'm not sure what the answer is.
Look at this.
Daizee Haze back here
right
with the side.
back to that headlock.
And that's done quite a bit to neutralize the force of Sara Del Rey so far.
There you go. Oh.
And Daizee Haze is stomped right on the foot of Del Rey.
Seems like for the majority of this match, Daizee Haze is just one step ahead of Sara Del Rey. Until right there.
Head over heels with a kick. This could be all no. How seamlessly Sara Del Rey pulled off that kick. But Dennis Gregory tagged back in. And we don't need to see this. Gregory has already humiliated Daizee Haze verbally, mentally, psychologically. We don't need physically too.
No!
Come on now. Haze, gotta get the safety here.
Here we go.
Again gets to Delirious. That's pretty self-explanatory.
I understood that one.
And Gregory. Oh, come on. I'm not going to justify that remark. And a tag into Sara Del Rey. Dennis Gregory, again, with how much he's angered Delirious over these months, wants no part of it.
Sara Del Rey, standing tall. She is not intimidated. Man, woman, it does not matter.
Well, Delirious is thinking about it.
He's going to do it. Do it.
Would you do it?
I would do it.
Delirious might do it here. Sara Del Rey doesn't mind. Sara Del Rey wants to test herself.
Oh, he's not even going to hit her.
Test the strength here. Oh, come on, Gregory from behind. And that was all the opening Sara Del Rey needed.
Pummeling.
And Del Rey's got enough power to keep Delirious down. Choking Delirious across the second ring rope with the leg and a tag. Now Dennis Gregory once in.
Of course.
Picking his spot. Gregory buries the boots right into the midsection, follow through with a knee. Oh, come on.
That was unnecessary.
Del Rey with a choke from behind the back of referee Williams, and Gregory again, more chauvinistically charged remarks to Daizee Haze. And this is a guy who's supposed to be, at one point, representing us as a champion.
Like his actions or not, Joseph, he does get the job done in the ring.
He absolutely does. Doesn't have a war machine to help him anymore. As a matter of fact, John McChesney may be the guy to silence him in due time.
Or maybe I will be the guy to silence
You might be
him.
the guy. Rowe might be the guy. Reyes might be the guy. Gregory's got a target, whether he's the champion or not, because he's made that many enemies. Jawbreaker by Gregory as he continues to control Delirious. It could be any one of whoever's qualified tonight. We got Vendetta, Justin Idol, Jimmy DeMarco, Troy Lawrence. So many great athletes, former and future champions qualifying for this tournament, and there's still more to come.
I mean, not to take away from this match or anything, Joseph, but can't believe I qualified. I pinned a 300-pound Marshall Gambino. And all those people you just named, they're not 300 pounds. So, to be honest with yourself, if I can beat a 300-pound man, I think I might have a good shot at becoming the next IWC heavyweight champion.
You have a good shot. You have the track record to prove it. Tag titles, worldly travel, certainly, but I can very easily picture Delirious winning the heavyweight title. Hell, I can picture Sara Del Rey doing that tonight.
I'm just happy I'm in the tournament, and I try my best.
I think all your fans are very happy to see you there as well. Certainly you deserve it just as much, if not more so, than anybody back there in that locker room. And Sara Del Rey,
She could be in the heavyweight tournament.
oh, no doubt about it. Maybe it may have been a handful of masks there to take Delirious down. Maybe a handful of tassels. And Gregory tagged back in. Gregory trying to slow down the pace here. Delirious can get a chance to play to his strengths. Certainly it's all in his favor. There's nothing like a Delirious match when Delirious is in the driver's seat.
I agree. Oh, here we go. Once again.
More chicanery on the outside. More Sara Del Rey. Gregory again is getting on the case of Daizee Haze. Was Gregory still living in the 1930s? What is this?
I think so. All he's missing is one of those old-timey mustaches.
Gregory has Delirious back into the corner.
Delirious has taken a ton of punishment in the last 5 minutes of this match or so.
Now Gregory's barking out orders to Sara Del Rey, telling her to finish what she started.
I mean, he needs to make a tag to Daizee Haze. He's in trouble.
And Daizee Haze is limited in what she can do because she can't go toe-to-toe with Dennis Gregory.
Did you see that right in the baby maker?
Delirious pulling all the stops here.
Shadows over hell, no.
Countered. Countered the Shadows over hell. Needs the tag. No! German suplex Delirious.
Amazing.
That's 200 plus pounds. 2 and no. Delirious escapes.
Amazing show of strength right there by Sara Del Rey. Hats off to her right there. Boom. Hats off.
And Dennis Gregory tagged in.
Go airborne.
Again, dissection of the human anatomy. Keeping the ring cut in half. Systematic tag team strategy. We are seeing this tandem utilized.
Notice there, keeping Delirious on the other side of the ring, away from Daizee Haze, giving him no opportunity to make that tag.
Follow through with the elbow. And Gregory looking pretty confident right now, but thinking ahead to the title tournament, he's got to be apprehensive based on the task in front of him.
Oh yeah, I mean, regain his title. He's got to worry about 15 world-class athletes. I'd be nervous too.
Absolutely. Regain his former title, we should say.
Exactly. That's not what I said.
Gregory sends Delirious in. Look out. Elbow right around the clavicle. Delirious is dazed, but still somehow on his feet. Hard right hands by the self-proclaimed field general of IWC. Delirious is hard. Sidestep drop toe hold.
Found an opening. Now he's got to make that tag.
Gregory hit face first.
Here we go.
Point. Daizee Haze is tagged in. She's wasting no time. Look out, Dennis Gregory.
Why? Oh.
Daizee Haze with a drop kick. And Sara Del Rey's in this thing. And Daizee Haze doesn't care what your gender is. She's ready for a fight. Death press. Hard right hand.
She is a house of fire. A house of baby fire.
Look out.
Here we go.
Sideline head scissors. Takes Sara Del Rey down. Gregory's not even on the apron anymore. Hurricane Rana by Daizee Haze. The freshest entity in this matchup by far. Charging, nobody home. Del Rey got the foot up.
Del Rey back in control now. Thank God she stopped that flurry of offense. Whoa!
Oh, face first. Daizee Haze pushed off of Del Rey and drove her down face first. And Gregory, oh, come on, handful of hair.
Very innovative. That might have been it. Had Denny not intervened.
And Gregory knows that. But still, no respect for Daizee Haze. And using her as a shield now. How low can you get? This is totally classless. Delirious on the outside.
And there's no one to save Daizee Haze. Oh no.
Oh, come on. No.
Don't do this.
We don't need to see this by Dennis Gregory. That's a woman. Come on. No. Delayed
I can't believe
suplex.
he's doing this.
Somebody stop this. Get somebody in there.
You go in there.
Well, I got a job right here.
So do I.
Come on.
Oh. Denny just stalling her. Letting all the blood rush to the head, as they say.
Come on.
That could be it right now.
This is wrong. And Del Rey gonna sneak in with a cover. Two. And Daizee is kicked out.
There's some fight left in Daizee Haze, thank God.
All the blood rushed to the brain, but Daizee Haze still able to
15 minutes
survive.
gone by, 15 minutes.
Delirious has got to get back in there.
Well, Delirious going up top, but Gregory again cuts him off. He's in the ring now, is Delirious, but that's about all.
Now looks like it's going to be a 2-on-1 on Delirious here. Setting up for something.
Double suplex maybe coming up here. Delirious lands on his feet. Watch Daizee Haze. Cross body.
Beautiful.
They're both down, but she can't stay on top for the cover. Look at the clothesline. Daizee goes up behind.
Beautiful.
Down with a sunset flip.
Double bend.
There's the roll up. They got him.
They got him. Joseph, they got him.
Here are your winners, the team of Daizee Haze and Delirious.
Big time victory for Delirious and Daizee Haze. A measure of revenge for the chauvinist pig, and not the way Gregory wanted to walk into the heavyweight title tournament in. What a night of heavyweight title tournament qualifiers. What a night of vindication for Daizee Haze and Delirious. Shiima Zion, have you learned anything?
Yes. I learned that I'm not very good at commentary.
But you are now more prepared for the heavyweight title tournament.
Definitely. I have a better idea what I need to work on, people I need to study. I'm bringing my A game, please believe me.
Gregory is irate. Will he encounter Rowe? Will he encounter Shiima Zion? Will he encounter Delirious again? We will find out. Revengeance 5, October 11th. The title tournament at the Steel City Con. It's coming up for all of us here at IWC. Thank you for joining us, and good night from Elizabeth.